And welcome everyone here to the finale of our UGL season, Spring 21. My name is Half Asian Dad, and alongside me for the ride tonight is my color caster, of course, Liz Stuya here. And I'm excited for this series. How about yourself?
I am very much so looking forward to this. It's finally the finals for this, split of UGL. So, this is what the teams are working towards. And now we get to see the best of the best for spring of 2021 here for UGL. So I'm excited to see what these guys got.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what these two teams are going to bring out here. Of course, in our playoff games that we have covered in the quarterfinals, we actually did cover Mint Gaming Chocolate, which will be starting on blue side here. As well, in our semifinal, we did watch Yale Esports come through, and they will be on our red side for game one. So we have seen both of these teams fairly recently, and both of them look to be taken to the Rift to potentially take home that crown.
Yeah, no, especially after last week's broadcast where Yale was able to have a very dominating 3-0 performance for a best of five. It kind of puts them on not a pedestal, but, more so like, hey, high expectations. Like, you guys did really well last week. Like, can you finish it out strong? And also for Min Gaming as well. I mean, both of these teams have had great records throughout the split. So it's going to be interesting. I don't expect it to be like a clean 3-0 and just one side or the other. I think we've actually got a pretty good matchup here. It's going to give us a good series.
I think that we're going to be going more than 3 games. That's my prediction as of right now. Both of these teams have shown their flashes of brilliance here, of course, this season, both finishing as the 1 seed in their respective groups. And Mint Gaming Chocolate, I believe, ending the season with an 11-3 record, whereas Yale finished with a 10-4 record. Both of these teams are very strong, and they're going to be hopping into draft in just a little bit. What are some picks that we should watch out for here in this UGL finals?
So same patch as last week rather. So it's still a lot of the things that we're switching up, and we're seeing a lot of priority with Ezreal recently with those recent Sunder buffs as well. Seeing things like Jax and Gnar and other pretty disgusting abusers of that really just effective Sheen item, especially when it comes to some of these beefier comps to be able to itemize against those. Both top laners, both Turtle Wizard and Orenji, I want to say, are both very similar pools with a lot of Gnar, a lot of Shen. Orenji wants to go for more of the fighters, it seems, with more of Set and Irelia and Aatrox, while Turtle Wizard, it's a lot more beefy guys, a lot more Mordekaiser and Volibear. And speaking of which, for Yale, something we saw last week, but it's also just a good thing they have, is that flex of a Volibear with both the top laner and the jungler. Dad's GG also playing that, so going to be expecting high priority for Volibear for Yale. Otherwise, there's also a pretty high priority for Diana for Mint Gaming Chocolate for both their mid and jungle as well. So they have a bit of a flex pick of their own. And otherwise, besides that, I'm hoping not to see a jungle Nautilus, even though it did get buffed. I'm not sure where it's actually standing in terms of where players are actually saying how good it is. I'm not seeing a lot of it, so I'm not too convinced. Haven't seen very good performances on it. It's great support. I'm imagining that Ceratosaurus is either going to be going for the Thresh or the Nautilus. It's definitely his comfort is more of those hook champions. Mega as well for Mint Gaming. Definitely a couple of hook champions, but also a lot more Rel, Alistar, things like that. So there's a lot to expect, and I'm interested to see where the priority and the bans are going to lie for each team, and maybe if certain players are going to get prioritized and targeted over others.
Yeah, we would assume that there's most likely going to be some points of contention here, and Mega, of course, being actually one of the lower ranked players in this lobby, has shown flashes of brilliance in that series that we watched in the quarterfinals, where Mint Gaming Chocolate were able to disassemble RAR. Overall, he had himself a great series, although in that game 2 was playing against a Malzahar Seraphine bot lane, which was definitely something we hadn't seen before. But regardless, I think both of these teams are coming into this with a lot of expectations, as well as a lot on the shoulders here. Of course, the winners of this get a nice little prize to go back home with them. So always good to see this action hopping onto the Rift, but we should be hopping into draft in the next little bit. And we'll be able to see if you are correct about those hook champions, because as always, they're very exciting to see. And with Thresh and Nautilus both being very strong in the current meta, I'm looking forward to see what both Stratosaurus and Mega Jation pick.
Yeah, bot lane is in an interesting spot right now where I would say both the engaged champions like the Thresh, Nautilus, and things like that, and also enchanters are actually finding their way back into the meta. Obviously, the ones that were abusing Moonstone early on in this most recent season, we saw like a huge explosion of that. And almost always we're going to see Lulu because that champion has been overtuned far too many patches in a row. But it's one of those situations where it could go either way. And I mean, especially UGL, we have seen a lot of even Lux support priority which I think is, definitely a nice pick, especially if you do couple it with something like the Ezreal. It can be pretty oppressive. But otherwise, as we jump into bans here and actually taking a look at what the priorities are going to lie, it's looking like Mint Gaming Chocolate, if they are on blue side, making sure, they're more so taking out the Varus, taking that away from Nice Condemn. We saw a couple of games that he had on the Varus. Something most teams don't want to deal with. It doesn't matter if it's lethality or attack speed. It's mainly that chain of corruption to start off a fight, and even for self-peel in some cases, just very valuable. And taking away the Galio, so don't have to worry about that mid support flex, and also just the near global ultimate that we have to deal with. And also taking away Mordekaiser from Turtle Wizard, that if some people would recall from a couple of the previous broadcasts, he had some fun on Mordekaiser, so they're pretty aware of that. They're not going to let him have it this time around. But on the other side, we do see the Amumu ban, knowing that YMZFO, I'm not sure how I'm going to pronounce that, but he does play a lot of Amumu, taking that off the table. Seraphine, always a great ban, and Set up in the top lane against Renji. And the first pick is going to be the Zac, and something that, while we can suspect it to be in the jungle, there has been a lot of recent popularity with Zac and solo lanes recently, so it's tough to say where this is going to go just yet, but in response, they are going to take the Diana, so.
Yeah, the Diana going to come through either for That's GG or Azuxa here, so going to be an interesting little dichotomy in that sense, because that is a champion that they've had a lot of success on. We saw that in that series against Koog as well, where the Diana was, just ridiculous the entire series. But the Zac is going to come through as well, and it's a champion that did get a couple of buffs recently, and the Ezreal that you're talking about here. So say Ezreal with Divine Sunder, there's other ways that you can build him. Of course, Essence Reaver Duskblade. I guess we'll have to see what other champions get picked up here, but with the Zac already locked in here, you're going to have to fight against some sort of front line. Does that automatically mean Divine Sunder, or is there still option for other builds?
I think Divine Sunder is just in such a strong spot where you're going to be building it regardless of team composition, not only having the mythic passive of the hybrid pen, but it also just like the synergy with his Q, and it absolutely just smacks later on to the game, especially once you go, a lot of people going for the third item, Sorela's Grudge, which goes along with the hybrid pen for the mythic passive, so percentage armor penetration for the Ezreal is just such a massive 3-item power spike, and in response, it's actually a pretty cool lane to see. Don't see it too often, but it looks like Mint Game is going to be going for the Ash Braum, so a lot of not only potential engage from the Enchanted Crystal Arrow, but it'll be nice to go along with the Zac engage as well, but a good amount of peel for Ash, so it's pretty cool to see, especially having Brahmi, the wall against Ezreal is a pretty nice feeling if you can time that right to be most efficient. And it looks like it's going to be Ceratosaurus on the Thresh, so a bit more of I would say an aggressive side maybe coming out from Nice Condemn and Ceratosaurus, depending on how Nice Condemn is able to play the Ezreal. And otherwise, I can imagine a Ward and Mega down here on the Ash Braum. It's more so going to be waiting for the Zac gang, seeing, depending on what they do mid, maybe just mid-jungle prio down on the bot side. But I do remember That's GG, a lot of the games that he does play, it's usually towards the top side. It's usually up for Turtle Wizard. So it's not too bad for Nice Condemn to have something like the Ezreal that can stay pretty self-sufficient, especially if Ceratosaurus wants to spend a lot of the game roaming. But for the second ban phase, looks like they are going to be looking at Killua for the side of Yale, taking out the Yone and the Malzahar, while on the other side, Mint Gaming decide that Turtle Wizard is not allowed on Shen, and they're also going to be taking the Victor away from Azuxa.
Yeah, so this should be interesting to see, the bans coming through. Looks like a lot of targets towards that mid lane, so we'll see what Killua opts to pick up here. It may be a blind pick. We don't really know where, well, we know where the Diana is going now because that's a Lux in here for Azuxa, so Killua's gonna know the matchup, but looks like they're giving that counter pick over to Turtle Wizard, and we saw Turtle Wizard kind of make everyone disappear on the Mordekaiser last week, and we'll see what he brings out this time, because he's been one of the main carry players here, as Silas is hovered and locked in, can still technically be flexed, but we'll get our questions answered with this last pick on Mint Gaming Chocolate. But if that is the Silas picked up into the mid lane against the Lux, where does Silas fit into this comp in some senses? Just trying to get a feel as to what you're thinking in that sense.
Well, I'm really wanting to see if it's going to be top lane. If they are anticipating that Turtle Wizard, with what's currently available, goes for the Gnar, but they're actually going to take it away from him and not even give him the chance. So Orenji's going to be on the Gnar, and based on what Turtle Wizard plays most often in this pool, probably the only two things he has left available are the Volibear and Nocturne, unless he pulls something out of his hat. So either way, Gnar is going to be pretty comfortable in either of those matchups. The Silas mid versus the Lux is a little it's a little interesting. I mean, he has some decent ultimates, mainly with, I would say, Diana and Ezreal. Or I guess Lux as well. Ezreal and Lux ult being stolen from Silas is going to kind of work the same way. But even though I mentioned some other champions, it looks like Turtle Wizard's going to be on the Ornn. And so that'll be, it's always a good champion. I'm never going to complain about having an Ornn on my team. Giving me the item upgrades, makes your team just that much more gold efficient just based off of having him up there. And, tanky frontliner is never going to hurt as well. So pretty interesting draft from both sides so far, I'd say.
Yeah, really interesting to see the Ornn saved for the counter pick. Of course, Ornn, kind of that lane neutralizer that you were talking about, might have a little bit of a rough time up there against Orenji's Gnar, because Gnar, of course, with that range advantage, can be excruciatingly annoying, as we've talked about many times, as Gnar just seems to follow us wherever we go. Doesn't matter what patch it is. Doesn't matter if they absolutely gut the champion. He's still going to be showing up in UGL. It stands for Upsurge Gnar League, by the way. So.
Okay, yeah. How could I have let that slip my mind? I should have known what the real brand of all this was.
Exactly, but regardless, a couple of other lane matchups to keep our eye on. Now that we know that DatsGG is picking up that Diana in the jungle, Zach, interesting pickup into that matchup, specifically considering, a lot of the times we talk about Zach as someone who can provide you a lot of engage, but has trouble in that early little bit, those levels 1 through 5 there before he can get the Let's Bounce, especially in terms of his clearing, not as fast as the Diana. What impact do you think that's going to have if Zach is going to be a little bit behind the curve earlier on?
So I remember mentioning something like this similar last week in terms of the champions like a Zac or a Nautilus, or these champions that, as you said, are going to have the disadvantage of the clear speed and being like one of the super fast Diana Morganas of the jungle. And I think to counterbalance that, you need to really abuse just straight up spam ganking. And usually you can't do it to all 3 lanes. It's going to be optimal to focus on one, maybe go to a second one. So if you were to focus the jungle priority bot lane, maybe you get a couple ganks mid off and vice versa. But I would say more than likely, I would say Ashe Braum is actually such a wonderful lane to gank for as well, that it's annoying to go against the Ezreal not only having the arcane shift, but the lantern out as well of Ceratosaurus, and Nice Condemn can manage that in tandem. But I would say this Zac should just be, for the first 10-15 minutes of the game, should just be non-stop trying to jump on bot lane. If they are anywhere past like the middle of the lane, constantly applying pressure down there. Orenji should have the priority of the Gnar versus Ornn matchup, so you really shouldn't have to worry about the top side too much. And DatsGG, like we had mentioned, he does like to play top side. He usually does like to leave the bot lane alone. So in this type of matchup, if you have a Diana going against, 2v1 as the Gnar, it could put him a little bit behind, but he definitely has the type of kit where he can stay safe. It's not going to be too disastrous, or at least I can't imagine it's going to be up to Orenji in the end. But for mid gaming, jungle priority, I would say just stay mid and bot lane, completely ignore top lane. Otherwise, I'm interested to see how Killua's Silas goes. Silas is always a champion that, very high skill ceiling. You can tell when someone's pretty well versed at the Silas. So want to see how that matchup goes with him and Bitnari in the mid lane versus his Lux. And otherwise, it's going to be, both sides have a fantastic team fighting composition as well. Like, it's going to be, once that 15-20 minute mark starts to catch on, some of these fights are going to be pretty explosive.
Yeah, I think we're going to be able to see some really good gameplay here. Of course, it is UGL finals here today. Game 1 coming at you. And on our blue side for game 1 is Mint Gaming Chocolate with Orenji up in the top lane. Imsfo in the jungle. We're going to go with that today, I guess. Killua Zoldyck in the mid lane. Award down in the bot lane. And Mega JTon in the support position. Whereas on your flip side here, starting on red side, is going to be Yale Esports. Going to be Turtle Wizard in the top lane. That's GG in the jungle. Bitnari in that mid lane. Nice Condemn down in the bottom lane. And Ceratosaurus going to be pulling up that support. So we're going to be able to see exactly if our draft predictions are correct in terms of how these lanes, how the game and how everything's going to turn out. But we're going to be right back after this little break here. Just going to wait on that spectator delay and we'll be back with game 1. Welcome back, everyone, here to the UGL Finals. Game 1 between Mint Gaming Chocolate and Yale Esports. Once again, Half Asian Dad Endless here giving you the cast today. And we're excited for this Game 1. We've got some interesting picks already with the Zach in the jungle as well. And already looks like some level 1 shenanigans going down, as looks like the side of Yale gonna try and get a ward down on the red buff there. So already moving quick.
Yep, That's GG just wanted to get an idea of where this Zach is going to be starting, get an idea of his pathing, and Turtle Wizard looks like he's kind of just walking in for a bit of a 1v2, but they do get a ward on the other side, on the side of Mint Gaming here, so both sides do have at least the knowledge, no one going sweeper just yet. The Diana has it now, it'll take a second for it to actually come up, but at least Yale for sure is going to know that Zach is going to be down here. And I mean, once you see the Diana sweep the ward in your red, you can safely assume she's starting top. So otherwise, it'll be. I still really want to see if the Zach is going to be putting the priority bottom. So I'm not really sure what his plan is with him starting on the bot side. If he is going to maybe put on some early priority for a Renji just to make sure he gets pretty far ahead in that Gnar versus Ornn matchup. Just to solidify the idea. It's like, okay, cool, I got you one gank, got his flash early on. I'm spending the whole rest of the game bot, something like that, but we'll see.
We'll have to see exactly where the jungle's path is. Well, Diana, of course, starting on her top side. And we were talking about how DatsGG likes to play around that top side with Turtle Wizard and Bitnari kind of being big focal points for them in their 3-0 semifinal win. So interestingly enough, going to be moving towards that bot side of the map here. And as much as you said that the Thresh Ezreal has a lot of disengage, they also have as much engage potential. Arcane Shift can be used for both as well. And Ceratosaurus, if he can land a good death sentence, it could mean death for the likes of A-Word or Mega JTon. So interesting jungle pathing already. You can see the Zach already on his top side as well. And some vision put down by Bitnari. But for the most part, nothing to be expected for at least a little bit in this one.
Yeah, the only big action we're seeing right now is actually Bitnari laying down the pain a little bit on Killua here for the early matchup of the Lux into the Silas. It's not really going to be surprising for the most part. Once he probably gets to 4 and 5, can actually get in that melee range for that W healing, but otherwise he has to get bullied a little bit. But we are seeing Ceratosaurus, kind of posturing upwards towards the bot lane of Mint Gaming here. He's taking out a chunk of health here, but he does manage to land a death sentence, taking I would say Mega a little bit low, but he does go the E level 2 and still gets chunked out quite a bit, so already a little bit of a disadvantage. But it's still one of those things that you did mention that obviously there is the strengths in the Ezreal Thresh lane, but at the same time, Ash Braum, if they get ahead, you can get caught out so easily. It's just so obnoxious to have to deal with. So and additionally, like I had mentioned, it's just such good follow-up for the Zach as well. But I don't know. I'm surprised that usually a lot of these games we do see action in the first couple of minutes, at least someone getting first blooded, just changing the settings a little bit, making sure we got it tweaked all good. Yeah, there we are. But otherwise, besides those settings, taking down the chat and everything, there does seem to be some action in the mid lane.
Yeah, DatsGG gonna go in as Bitnari forced to use both of those summoner spells to get out of there. I don't think DatsGG has enough damage, but I could be mistaken. Gonna pop that Zac passive under the tower as Killua tries to defend the blobs as best as possible. But up on the top side, Turtle Wizard is starting to get the better of this trade against Orenji, just smacking him with that hammer. Looks like both of them are gonna limp away with their lives. Orenji living on about 50 HP up there, but Zac passive going to be down as well as the flash, but that's traded for both of Bitnari's summoners. So a little bit of action, but no kills yet on the board. Blood has yet to be shed.
Yeah, no, they did manage to get the Zac passive, but they weren't able to take out the Zac in his entirety. I was wondering, and props to him if this is what he was actually thinking, but with Orenji actually going in with the skirmish of Turtle in the top side, that might actually get him a first blood here, but not quite. But my thought was, once he saw the Zac passive being popped, kind of thinking like, okay, cool, or Turtle Wizard, I should say, saying like, I can't let Orenji teleport to one of these Zac blobs to deny my team for the first blood and for the snowball potential. So, it was nice to see that there was no option there to teleport in. And the first blood from Turtle Wizard is going to come out strong. Jeez.
Yeah, he just flashed forward and dropped the auto. I think he got a little bit of that brittle breath down, or the Bellows Breath at least, onto the Gnar, so that auto did a big chunk plus the grasp. So first blood over to Turtle Wizard. I feel like we've said that one before, but starting off strong for Yale already, getting that first blood onto their, what we said was going to be their losing laner here, as Death Sentence landing onto Mega Jaytion, but Mystic Shot is blocked up as we expected. Very defensive bot lane on both sides and no real openings quite yet.
Yeah, the other thing is as well, we can see that there's actually no potions left on the bot lane of main gaming right now, and both the Ezreal, or I can't say both the Ezreal and the Thresh. The Thresh did use his health potion, still has a couple of biscuits available, but Nice Condemn is still sitting on 2 health potions. He could actually go up for a few more aggressive skirmishes like this one right here. Not quite going to get him because, again, just that disengage from Braum is so very easy to get away, but can walk up like that, get some trades going, and even if he takes a good amount of his health, he still has the sustain if he wants to stay for a bit longer, since he had started that tier. The other thing is as well, there are different situations. We are seeing Ezreal start the Doran's Blade versus just going straight up Tier of the Goddess. Usually buying that Tier of the Goddess first, you're usually taking the Sorcery secondary to have the Mana Flow Band as well, just a great synergy there. And other times, if you're wanting the Doran's Blade, it's usually in the case of, hey, I have a Thresh, I know I'm going to be dueling early, I want the just better combat stats early on. That may be the difference in me not getting first blood and getting first blood. So otherwise, Turtle Wizard, like we had mentioned, securing that first blood up in the top lane, it was a back and forth for quite some time, but now we're going to see what pressure he can apply here. Already having that Balmy Cinder, and man, he is going forward. Renji actually looking to turn some damage right back at him, but Dats GG, as we talked about, is hovering on this top side, and we're going to see if he can make something happen here with Turtle Wizard.
Yeah, Turtle Wizard right now just doing exactly what you want your Ornn to do. You get a kill somewhat out of luck, I dare say. It looked like it was a little bit of that hitbox pasta there when it came to that Bellows Breath, but in this mid lane, Killua Zoldyck going in for that has the final spark that was hijacked away, unable to get the kill on Bitnari, but did burn the barrier. So Killua has been very good at burning those summoner spells early and often on Bitnari, and other than that kill up on the top side, it's really just a war of attrition at this point in favor of Yale. The Lux is actually about 2 waves up on the Sylas, and that's kind of the difference between your ranged versus melee matchup. Lux, of course, having a lot more wave clear up and available for her than Sylas, who has to commit a decent amount of mana if he wants to be able to clear out that wave. But for the time being, we have the Sheen and the Longsword picked up on this Ezreal. Does that mean Essence Reaver? Does that mean Divine Sunderer? We do not know because it builds into both of them, but still have all 3 cookies in inventory. So if they get hungry at some point, they will have that extra sustain that they would need. But Imsfo is lurking around and gives up on the play. It doesn't look like he wants to sling himself over that wall quite yet.
Yeah, they're not really... That was the second time, I want to say, that he was looking for the gank down bot lane, didn't want to commit to it. Maybe knowing that the Diana wasn't showing, they're not sure where Dats GG was at the time. Now they can actually see him clearing out that Dragon Ward. They do have Thresher on the backside, but here comes a Zac for Bitnari.
Yeah, Bitnari gonna get hit with that elastic slingshot. The flash doesn't get you out of the stretching strikes, though, as Killua Zoldyck going in for a big trade. Doesn't have the ignite, though, only has teleport this game. Meanwhile, in the bot side, a big play back for Ceratosaurus. A pretty decent trade, though, going back as A-Word able to deal a decent chunk to Ceratosaurus after that, after the Guardian Shield wears off there. No Aftershock, of course, on the Thresh, so A-Word staying alive there. If you pull the support, doesn't matter. This Ashe is going to be able to free fire for a little bit. So a little bit of trading back and forth as
whoa,
Crowny's Comet. Okay. There we go. But there's going to be the Death Sentence and the Glacial Fissure coming across. Ceratosaurus forced the flash away as the volley lands. Last auto attack from A-Word, going to be able to take down Ceratosaurus. The punishment there is death for the aggression as Zac jumps over the wall. That's GG is looking to pull A-Word in, and a lot of damage coming down. The True Shot barrage is good enough, but look at this. More fighting going on. That's GG has the ultimate stolen by Killua Zoldyck. A lot of damage going down. Meanwhile, on the backside, there's going to be Turtle Wizard as well. Oh my goodness, we just saw Zac Blobs go everywhere as Imsfo is on the backside as well. Lux, final spark, not going to be able to do too much in that fight, but the root going to land on a Renji as a double kill coming through for the Sylas. Nice Condemn able to clean that up on the back end. Ends up being a 3-for-3 after a little bit of an overextension from Ceratosaurus. And actually, we're not done yet. Killua Zoldyck using that Abscond Abduct over the wall, trying to get aggressive onto Ceratosaurus. long range death sentence gonna come down, but Zach gonna come in with that elastic slingshot. Stretching strike's not gonna be able to pull anyone back, as Killua Zoldyck might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew, forces the flash out of Imzo over the wall as well. And finally, we're able to clear out this fight, a 4-for-3 in favor of Yale around this Infernal Dragon, and yet no one really picked up the neutral objective yet.
It is a party in the bot lane, 10 minutes into 5v5, and they're not done yet. Award seeing if you take down Nice Condemn, and not quite, but looks like he's going to get Ceratosaurus there at the end, but here's That's GG to clean up.
Yes, Ceratosaurus was a little bit late on that engage. A teleport coming down from Killua Zoldyck here on the back end, as That's GG actually going to get stunned up and slowed up as well. Award might have that ultimate back up very soon, actually, but looks like the play is going to get disengaged as Imsfo was still in the area, and That's GG as well as Nice Condemn thought better of it. But on the flip side, this Zach going to try and start up this dragon. Not necessarily the fastest at taking those neutral objectives, especially without your completed Sunfire, but for the time being, looks to be slapping away at it with his as Turtle Wizard.
Oh no.
Oh,
no,
he goes. Yeah, he went here a bit, but he might pay the price, actually. Renji going aggro as down on the bot side. Bitnari able to pick up Award, but a great unbreakable there from the Braum is able to stop any of that True Shot Barrage from going anywhere. Who's going to get this dragon, though? Looks like the Zac going to pick it up, hop into that passive. Killua Zoldyck going in with the Abscond Abduct, but he is in a 1v3. Might not be in the best of situations, as Imsfo will be able to jump out of there at the back end of that. Pause coming through as Turtle Wizard still not having the best connection situation thus far. Cost him his life up in the top lane, but that's GG. Man, that was a close play on that Braum, but a great unbreakable to stop that Ezreal ultimate at the end. Most likely saved 2 lives there, as Imso was also blinking red in that fight as well.
Yeah, Mega's doing a pretty fantastic job on the Gnar. I'm looking at a Gnar on the Braum so far, rather. And it's especially great to see when these players are able to adapt to such fiestas, you know, when things are happening in such a chaotic fashion so quickly, and to constantly say, like, okay, we can go, now we have to disengage, now we're going back in. And it is actually pretty interesting to watch. And again, it has a lot to do with the setup that each of these teams are able to provide with the different things, like, you know, the snare coming out from the Lux, the death sentence coming out from the Thresh, and everything along those lines. And again, seeing teleport after teleport bot lane is just something I'm way too familiar with. It really does hurt my soul, but that's kind of the state of bot lane right now. People say, like, oh, better bot wins, but then you see like 5 teleports in the span of, you know, 5 to 10 minutes. It's like, all right, I don't know if it's been that much of a 2v2, but regardless, though, Nice Condemn, I would say, is probably one of the biggest beneficiaries of all the skirmishing that has been going on. 3-0 so far on the Ezreal with a 300 gold bounty on his head, but Award not doing too bad himself. Already having the Kraken Slayer completed to match the Divine Sunder of Nice Condemn here at 13 minutes into the game. So pretty early on, people are managing to already clear their first items here, and especially with it being the Ashe and the Ezreal, you know, some of these AD carries are going to start to turn on pretty soon. You know, don't really have to really sit here for 20 minutes for Ezreal to get to the point of the Man Immune Sunder it's going to look like. And I'm interested to see what Award is also going to be going with the Kraken Slayer, whether it's going to be the Phantom Dancer for more of just the single target shred, or it's going to be the Runons. But a Renji here, ooh, man, that's going to be a tough Ornal.
Renji is on the wrong side of the map. Gonna try and flash away from That's GG, but Moonfall will connect and clean up that kill. So good pickup on the top side as Nice Condemn is able to take the Lantern to safety there. But right now, just really good state for Yale at this point. They still have a strong CS lead in that mid lane. Of course, their Ezreal is 3-0, which is nice to see, as well as Diana getting a little bit more involved on both the kills and the death sides of things. So is translating over to about an 1100 gold lead. But Imsfo, you're on the wrong side of the map as well. Big collapse coming down. That's GG gonna actually hop over the wall, gonna be able to dash and follow as Imsfo is going to try and bounce out of there. That's GG might not have enough damage. The final spark will not be enough to connect as Imsfo lives with a sliver of health. Whoa. And the True Shot Barrage goes to the right. I think Zach felt that on his right bicep, if he even has biceps. But on the flip side, Bitnari able to clean up a kill onto Award as the death sentence, blind over the wall, by the way, is true and connects onto that Ashe. She goes down for her 3rd death of the game.
Yes, Ceratosaurus on the Thresh so far has been performing very well. I mean, I love both of the supports so far this game and what they're able to provide. And up on the top side, though, Renji is a little upset that the Diana was up here.
He's about to get mad as well. Forces the flash of Turtle Wizard. The rock will connect, but it won't be enough. That satellite, if the spikes were pointed the other way, probably would have been enough. Killua Zoldyck, though, is looking for that assassination, but looks like they will give up on the play. They don't spot out Bitnari quite yet, but that bind will tell them a lot of information, saying Lux is up on the top side. And now with Zac there as well, they're looking for a play on the bot side to reply as A-Word forced to use that flash out of there, get to the Moonfall, but Ceratosaurus landing another hook here. Gonna try and clean up Mega Jayton, but he's quite tanky at this stage, all things considered. Has that Kindle Gem as well as those resistances on both sides of things. So it'll end up only being a tower here on the bot side. Of note, up on top side, Gnar was able to clean up that first tower gold. So as it stands right now, still about a 2,000 gold lead for the side of Yale, but the Rift Herald going to go up on the opposite side of the map once again. So splitting the map up as normal here.
Yeah, so what happens on one side, something else is going to happen on the other, so we can actually see that go through. And oh god, the Zac is back at Bitnari, but not quite going to find her. But, you know, applying a good amount of pressure here to the mid lane. DatsGG is also here on the side with no Diana ult available, but, you know, is here just in case. But yes, they do manage to secure the second Rift Herald, not going to be able to get any plates with that. More importantly, it is going to be this next dragon coming up in about 30 seconds. Mint Gaming is going to have their second dragon if they're able to pick this up. It'll be Yale's first if they manage to secure it. But right now, they're seeing Mint Gaming kind of have the priority with the vision right now, with it being only 20 seconds left. This is not exactly the team you want to walk and face check into either, especially having the things like the Ash Arrow to just pick off one person. But, you know, it's been fairly interesting to see. Turtle Wizard does have the Ornn ult available, might be using it.
Yeah, he uses that right there across the Glacial Fissure as Nice Condemn is able to pick up a kill in that one as well. Killua Zoldyck might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew there. Flashed in, or flashed out after dashing in with the Abscond Abduct as well as the Moonfall. Orenji scoops at a ward there, doesn't really accomplish much, but the the Elastic Slingshot in is able to land as Orenji is trying to run for his life. Final Spark gonna burn the hairs off of his back as Ceratosaurus actually completes it with the burn itself. So 2 for 1 going over to Yale. A little bit ambitious there for the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate as they pay the prices. Imsfo, he's going to be able to get out of there. He missed the jump over the wall, but he's able to clean himself up off that Elastic Slingshot over the wall to Krugs, but will not be able to contest this dragon. So Yale extending their lead even further now, almost up to 3,000 gold. So looking really good for them at this stage at the 18-minute mark. And I have to ask the question, where do you favor the scaling in this matchup? We have the Zac, who we know can turn into an absolute late-game beast. Same with Sylas when he can get all of those ultimates off. But Ezreal scales quite well as in his own right. Of course, you mentioned the Ornn as well. And the Lux does a good amount of damage late game once she gets to those 3 items that she can get with those, you know, the Rabadons, most likely a Morellonomicon at some point. So who kind of is in favor? Who is favored here, sorry, in terms of the scaling?
So it's pretty interesting because I think the individual champions for the side of Mint Gaming technically scale better than the ones that Yale has, but it's just not enough damage in my mind. You have fantastic setup with the Gnar, Zac, and the Sylas, but especially with the build that it's either a ward or a ward, I'm not sure, but with the build that Ashe has right now, I'm not really seeing, like, it would have to be more of like a Runon's AoE based build to actually work through, you know, the amount of damage threats that are coming at you on the side of Yale. And also having the combination specifically of the Lux Ezreal, that when you come to the point of right now at this 18-minute point, they're starting to siege up this mid, you are having to deal with so much poke. And here's Bitnari. Oh, the snare just hardly misses Mega. That was... Oh, that could have been devastating, but it was very, very nice attempt. Very sneaky try going over the Raptor wall there with the bind. But Orenji here might be another 1v2, but Diana just says hi. DatsGG is like, you know, I just wanted to say hi, buddy. Just let you know I'm here.
Orenji just took the Gnar taxi out of there. That's what he did.
Yeah, no, I thought something was going to happen, you know. Every time he's up there, you know, they try to go for a bit of a play, but they decide not to this time around. But that is going to be the mid lane outer turret taken there for Yale. Helps open up the map a little bit as well. So it is going to be interesting to see, where if they're going to do a 1-3-1 type of situation, if they're going to have, I would say, probably Nar and Diana, or excuse me, Ornn and Diana rather, in the side lanes with the Lux Ezreal Thresh in the mid lane, where they pretty much just rain hell with the artillery fire down on the backside. Basically poke them out because they really don't have much sustain. I mean, besides the built-in sustain coming out from the Zac and Sylas, mostly while they're skirmishing, they don't have anything like a, Nami, Soraka, something like that, to where when they are constantly getting poked by both Bitnari and Nice Den here, they can kind of, sustain it through a little bit and maybe survive and see if they can make a... Otherwise, I would say, like, they have to be the ones, at least for the side of Mint Gaming, they need to be the ones that hit the go button. They need to actually get an Ashe arrow to pick someone off. Zac needs to jump on them, and then the rest of the follow-up to couple along with it. And more so for Yale, it's going to be the opposite, where they're going to play front to back. They're going to want to peel backwards, make sure they're actually protecting both Nice Contem and Bitnari, where if you keep the Ezreal Lux alive, they will kill everybody.
Yeah, but that's going to be Enchanted Crystal Earl, as well as the Glacial Fissure going down, and Ceratosaurus not going to be able to live it through all of that burst, as that's GG going to try and 1v1 the Zac for now. Going to turn into a 3v2 actually on this bot side, as that's GG still very healthy. Big Moonfall coming across, going to pop that Zac passive nice and early. RNG trying to kite this one out, as Killua actually going to be able to pick up one kill. Might be able to turn this around onto Turtle Wizard. He goes unstoppable for a little bit, able to dodge out on that Gnar, but just a little bit too much damage coming down. As the True Shot Barrage is coming, the flash from Imspo a little bit late, and actually in a straight line, but he had enough health in pocket to be able to survive that one. So across the map, that's actually a 3-for-0 for this side of Mint Gaming Chocolate. They still have a little bit of life yet in them, and all things considered, will close that gold gap back up to about 3,000 gold, but a good play on the bot side there, as GG got a little bit ambitious. Actually, no action's going to stop here. Killua's Zoldyck going in. He's going to get ignited, going to abscond to get out of there, as Zac's going to be looking over the wall now. Bitnari flashing forward aggressively, but the stretching strike's going to land onto both of them. Death Sentence going to land, as well as the final spark going to land on that Lux, pick up that shutdown. But teleport coming in from Turtle Wizard. He does not have the ultimate available. Nice Condemn going to be able to flash forward, pick up his 5th kill of the game. He is unstoppable on this Ezreal. A 1-for-1 in the mid lane for the time being. But that's GG has returned, looking to fight RNG, but I think this is where they disengage for now, as Stretching Strikes lands. Never mind. It looks like RNG finally going to hop out of there, but continue poking out with those boomerangs.
So with that original play down that bot side jungle, the biggest mistake that Yale could make right now is not playing with the Lux Ezreal that are massively fed right now. Like, at that time when they were doing that skirmish, Bitnari and Nice Condemn were in the top side. Like, there's no way, and that's probably the biggest advantage that Mint Gaming has with this composition of the Gnar, Zac, Sylas, is that if they are able to sustain throughout a fight, like, they will last a long time, even if you do have, actually nobody has Grievous besides the Lux, so again, or actually the Thresh has an Oblivion Orb, that's very strange, but...
Whoa, Thresh has an Oblivion Orb!
Going pretty deep himself here, the rest of the members are on Dragon, he's gonna get stunned up with the Lantern available, we'll see if they decide to turn it.
Oh! A whole bunch of damage coming down from the final spark onto A-Ward, living with about 100 HP there, but... yeah, Turtle Wizard, just no fear, just standing in front and saying, I have enough HP, I have enough tenacity, I have enough armor, I have enough magic resist, I can deal with anything. And he does, with the help of the Dark Passage, of course, but that's another dragon going over to the side of Yale, and, they've kept this gold lead right around that 2,500 to 3,000 mark for the time being. They're going to have to try and find some sort of explosive opening in a little bit to try and break this game open, but if you just look at the farm differences right now as well, look at the farm difference between the junglers right now. It's about 70 CS. So if I can do my math correctly, that's about 15 camps that Diana has cleared more than this Zac right now. So feeling pretty good about herself, but overall still a lot to be seen in this one, as Lux looks to be going for the Horizon focus second item.
So I haven't seen Horizon Focus too often, but one of the realizations I did make that I could imagine it being a bit more viable is if you couple it along with a Leandra's Anguish, because on the things like Xerath, and I'm not sure if you're really going to be going Leandra's on Lux for per se, but Xerath is probably the best example where almost every ability, you're getting the proc of the Horizon Focus, and then it's increasing that Leandri's burn damage by 10%. So you're not going to really get that percent increase. Like, it's mainly what abilities you can follow up with next, and I guess usually when you're landing the Lux Snare, you're more than likely following up with an ult. So not a bad purchase at all, but it is the one thing to keep in mind, though, that she is the only one with the Grievous, except for the, I will mention again, the Thresh has an Oblivion Orb. I just keep staring at it. And the main reason it's weird, I might try to get into the mind of Ceratosaurus here, where, at least with the Bramble Vest component, you're only getting the Grievous proc if they are actually auto-attacking you. But the whole reason why it's actually built on the supports is because the full Thormail upgrade is actually giving you the Grievous wounds based on who you immobilize. So something like Thresh, anyone you hook, flay, box, anything like that is going to have the 60% reduction. And it makes a massive, massive difference when it comes to, it's mainly going to be for the Sylas and the Zac. Like, these are two champions that are very notorious for their sustain in their kits. And if you're only having the Lux, like, it's either, basically, if you're going to have the Lux have it, I would think you would want her to finish it a bit sooner to get the full Morellonomicon, because it's going to be so much more useful to make sure you can completely eliminate both the Sylas and the Zac. But otherwise, it is still a gold lead for Yale right now, but the kills are just about neck and neck here with 11-10 score on the top here at about 26 minutes. But right now, it could be a massive gold swing if Mint Gaming are able to play some Bounty Hunter, see if they can pick off Nice Condemn. He's got a 700 gold bounty, 1,000 gold on his head if they're able to take him out. And depending on who's able to pick that up, it could be a massive swing back into the favor of Mint Gaming. And right now, looking at the builds with the itemization, again, I did mention I was a little bit worried about the lack of damage that Mint Gaming had, but we may not have to worry about it if there's a 6-1 Sylas here with Killua doing a great job with his Everfrost Sylas. The Ashe is going to be going for the Lord Dom's third, mainly wanting to focus on the Ornn, it seems like. That's GG, not quite going to be able to find her NG, but a little bit of an enchanted crystal arrow isn't going to find Ceratosaurus either, but they're trying to get something going, and that's what these teams are doing, is that they're trying to hit the go button. And Zac may be able to do that, jumping in on Nice Condemn.
Yeah, Nice Condemn gets hit at the maximum range of those stretching strikes, forced to use that flash to get out of there. Almost has enough damage to take down A-Word. Might not be enough for the time being. Zac going to bounce in the middle of this fight as Turtle Wizard has teleported in. Going to be the flash out from Mega Jayton, but Bitnari on the side also taking a huge chunk of damage. Turtle Wizard able to clean up that fight, but the Moonfall going to be in the middle of that fight, not really connecting onto anyone. Nice Condemn now is dominating those 6-0 and 3 on this Ezreal. That fight looked really rough at the beginning, but great kiting out of Nice Condemn as Orenji jumps in thinking he had a little bit more Mega left in the tank. Unfortunately, not going to be able to give over, or will give over, another kill there to the Lux. Ceratosaurus on the hunt, gonna flash and die.
He was, dude. He had a play there, and you saw that. He
saw it. The wheels were turning.
The wheels were turning. He said, "I'm gonna get the sick Mad Life hook, but you gotta actually hit the button, dude." But either way, I love the ambition. Yeah. It was actually really sick, and otherwise, again, besides that little bit of a mishap there, Ceratosaurus has been playing very well in the Thresh. Many of the death sentences that have landed are usually resulting in some sort of play going well for them. And here comes another enchanted crystal arrow. Going to walk into the Lux Snare, and that's going to be a dead Ashe. The flash away is not going to help you from the Lux pass, so that's going to be her taken down. But it is a very rough comp to go against as one of these immobile 80 carries. And I definitely would say, even though I don't think Kraken Ashe is inherently bad, versus things like not only the Diana jumping at you, the Ornn ult that you're going to have to deal with, and also the Lux and the Thresh skill shots you need to be able to dodge so you don't, just die in the blink of an eye. I would say Gale Force would have been probably the better option for A-Ward here, just to be able to keep herself a bit safer. Otherwise, because again, you need to stay in tandem with your Braum, otherwise you're not going to live. But the Braum's alone.
Yeah, speaking of the Braum, gonna be able to get out of there as a Renji. Almost Mega though, looking over the side. Killua gonna be able to steal away that Moonfall from the Diana as well. But speaking of those items, the Oblivion Orb turning into the Chem Tech Putrefier. Gotta make sure I say that one right, because so many Chem Punk, Chem Tank, Chem Tech, whatever. So hard to keep them in line. But looking at the poke battle here around this Baron, you can see the priority that Yale have over this. They're kind of warding them off 5v4 right now as Diana clears that top side. But Enchanted Crystal Arrow goes wide as Turtle Wizard might be looking to start the fight, but the Ram gets blocked up. Imsfo now in the middle of the team in prime position to start bouncing. He's going to be able to bounce onto Ceratosaurus as well as Turtle Wizard, but a huge final spark going to go across. That's a double kill already picked up. Ezreal going to be able to pick up that third kill. Ceratosaurus with that Oblivion Orb picking up the fourth kill as well. A 4-for-0 for the side of Yale, really exploding their gold lead in their favor. And this is going to push them over towards this Baron and potentially the end of this game. They're up 7,500 gold here. And the Deicide Ezreal, as well as the Eye of Ludin on that Lux, really making a difference there, giving them a lot more damage than I think the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate expected.
It was one of those, you can see the desperation there. That's the main cause of everything that went wrong there, was that they wanted to get something going. They said, listen, we're at a little bit of a disadvantage, you know, and we have all these engage tools, like I had mentioned. I really do think that it's not incorrect of Mint Gaming to say that we need to pull the trigger, we need to be the ones that get it going. But then we saw the arrow miss, we saw the Zac jump not exactly connect. And as soon as you're, you know, expending a lot of these main engage cooldowns, that's the time that Yale gets to turn, and turn they did, and took, you know, not only that clean 4-0, but also picking up Baron on top of it, almost taking out Killua there, but here's Zac in the middle of everyone.
Yeah, Imsfo gonna get a big stretching strikes across. The Enchanted Crystal Arrow is gonna land onto Ornn. That's not the person you want to hit it onto. This Ornhorn, he's actually gonna go around the Braum to be able to land that. As Nice Condemn goes legendary, into the back line goes That's GG, and into the night go Mint Gaming Chocolate, at least in our game one, as it looks like they're staring down the barrels of this Baroned up. And Ivy League's up. I don't know if you can put it that way. In terms of Yale right now, looks like it's going to end up being GG, at least in game one, as of course we get the spectator bug where if they all exit the lobby, no one gets to move on. But regardless, that's game one going over to Yale in quick fashion here. They're able to clean up that victory. They played to their win conditions, and they're able to pick up a win in game one. But after that, just really good gameplay coming out from Yale.
Yeah, getting a bit of deja vu in comparison to last week with how dominating they were. Starting off this series with a nice little win like that. Again, it was pretty quiet. It was pretty calm for, you know, the first 5 and 10 minutes, where I kind of sat there surprised, like, oh, you know, this might be a bit of a slower game, but, you know, both teams going back and forth. It was even for so long, but Yale found their footing. You know, a couple missteps from Mint Gaming, and they were able to capitalize on that very well, and that resulted in them having a pretty solid game one for them to go into this series with for finals. And we're gonna have to see what Mint Gaming decides to switch it up with this time around, and see if you know, Yale decides to go for like the same type of idea with what they just had, or maybe they've got something else up their sleeve.
Yeah, we're going to hope they have long sleeves here, because if they're wearing short sleeves, they're not going to have too much up their sleeve this time around. Woohoo, fun puns. But we're going to be back after this break. No more half Asian dad jokes here for the time being, but we're going to take a short break and be back with game two. Yale Esports up 1-0 over Mint Gaming Chocolate. You're watching UGL. We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone, to UGL Finals here. Game 2 on the docket here after Yale takes a convincing victory in Game 1. Half Asian Dad once again on your play-by-play alongside Listuya as my wonderful color caster for tonight. And we should be hopping into draft pretty quickly, but any initial thoughts after that Game 1 victory as to what maybe Mint Gaming Chocolate can do to get back into the series?
So Kilo actually had a pretty good game on the Silas, did pretty well. There were a lot of early skirmishes he ended up getting pretty fed off of, but it just the rest of it collapsed too quickly. Orenji was putting himself in disadvantageous, there we go, situations. Anytime, he was actually wanting to go in, Dats GG was usually there to respond. A very frustrating situation for a top laner, but that was kind of the situation he was in, and there was a few times where that did make the difference, put Turtle Wizard that much further ahead in that game, and man, he was a tanky Ornn actually towards the end of that. Looking at his health, nearly like 3,500 health, 200 armor, 200 MR. It's like, man, and that was one of the things I was mentioning. The Ashe pick, where a ward. I'm not saying this to put down Ashe as a champion, because she is one of my favorites, whether it's in solo queue or competitive. I think she is a fantastic pick. But it's a lot of things you got to do with the itemization. Again, I think Gale Force probably would have been the better call to keep him safer in situations. But then also in general, there wasn't a lot of damage that's coming out from the side of Mint Gaming that time around. And again, it's very single target focused when you have something like Kraken PD Ashe. and you're going against things like Diana Orn, where you're probably just not going to move and you're dead by the time you get a few autos off. And otherwise, Nice Condemn and Ceratosaurus on the Ezreal Thresh had a very dominating performance, mainly because of the early skirmishes that did end up going his way. So it's kind of tough. I think Mint Gaming needs to make sure that you can't really let Nice Condemn be able to get that far ahead that quickly, especially when they have the combination of that Ezreal Lux that was able to just rain havoc for the most part, and really not much that Mint Gaming could have done about it. But we are seeing as we're getting into the first few bans, the Ezreal is going to be taken away from Nice Condemn as well as his Varus, so two of arguably his strongest picks are not going to be available this time around. Maybe we see his Vayne, maybe we get to see what his name is all about. But otherwise, it is going to be the Mordekaiser taken away from Turtle Wizard, and on the other side for Yale, taken out the Amumu from YMZFO, who I still feel bad. I don't know how to pronounce his name, but otherwise, and then Seraphine and Yone away from Killua. So taking that with all those bans, it is going to be the Diana first pick yet again for more than likely Dats GG for the jungle. And I'm wanting to see what the jungler for Mint Gaming is going to decide to be the response. And it looks like they're going to be leaning towards that Zac again, possibly.
Is this just the salty run back? At least in the jungle, that's what we're seeing thus far. As Dats GG had a great game on the Diana as well. Not as impactful as we've seen in the past, but, you know, did his job in that sense. Secured objectives, you know, the usual jungler things. And Ibisfo didn't have a bad game on the Zac either, just didn't really have a whole lot of support in terms of gank setup in those lanes. And we were talking about how with the Zac, with the Ashe Braum, you have a good combination, as not getting the full salty run back, the Xayah comes in. And this time, maybe the Zac goes towards that bottom lane. The Xayah does have good gank setup once again. If he can get some feathers behind him, you can root him up and do a whole bunch of damage, but we'll have to see what the jungling strategy is this time around, because I think that's one of the main catalysts in Mint Gaming Chocolate's victories, at least from what we've seen, as Rakan might be taken off the table to break up the lovers duo here, and that's locked in for Ceratosaurus, so no hook champions there, but still a lot of engage.
Yeah, I actually, when I was looking at the profiles of each of these players, I was very surprised when I saw that A-Ward actually played not only did he play a lot of Xayah, he has like a 60+% win rate on it, which is honestly impressive because that champion is bad. I don't care what anyone says, it is just so very underwhelming. The biggest the biggest pro of it is going to be her ult. It's like one of the best self-peel tools in the game. It allows you to actually keep yourself safe, not having to rely on anyone else, and can actually turn the tides of the fight. So with him having that high of a win rate on it, and again, it's something that's not seen as like particularly that powerful, I'm interested to see what he can do on it. And, you know, we do see Yale responding by taking away that Rakan in case that's what they were thinking for A-Ward and Mega down there for the bot side. So nice to see a quick little adaptation here in the draft, and something that goes along pretty well with that is Tristana. You know, both of them just jump in together, and you kind of just hope for the best. You hope that you kill everybody, and if not, you're probably dead. So pretty confident lane coming out from Yale for, you know, Nice Condemn and Ceratosaurus here. Like we mentioned, you know, it is not one of his well-known hook champions, so I'm wondering if we're going to see him just as comfortable as he is on the Thresh and the Nautilus, or on this Rakan. But Alistar, definitely a good answer to it as well. You know, being able to deny a lot of Rakan's engage and just overall be a pretty big menace that is going to be here with the Zac and now the Ornn as well. And I think, unfortunately, Mint Gaming is going to fall into the same situation as last game with this draft of not having enough damage. Because, like, realistically, and again, with Yale, they definitely do love having the Diana with not only the tools it has to engage, but just a ton of damage. Maybe if Turtle Wizard is locking in this Volibear, that is something that is, you know, not only a great frontline tank, but also dealing a good amount of damage. And otherwise, like I said, I think Yale is going to just have the advantage of, excuse me, their champions doing more damage in general, and they can basically snowball a bit easier. Because for Mint Gaming, and it is going to rely a lot on what their last pick is as well, where even if you do get A-Ward fed, right? Like, let's say it's a fantastically executed game, they label the priority bot side, picks up a couple kills, they get early dragons, you have to do everything with him now. Like, straight up, like, you cannot make any plays unless he's there, unless they really get something big for Killua. But here for the mid lane for Azuxa for Yale, they are picking up the Ahri as the blind pick for the mid lane. So something that I have, strangely enough, seen rise in popularity. I want to say typically with Everfrost, but it's interesting to blind pick it. I want to see what the response is, and that's also a strange one I wasn't anticipating. Usually see it bot lane, but it's going to be Vigar for the mid lane here of Mint Gaming for Killua. So something that may end up being a little problematic for the Rakan, Tristana, Ahri that are wanting to jump into your face. Now you got a cage to deal with, so not a bad response.
Welcome to UGL, everyone. That's all I can say after this draft. You get the Xayah, you get the Vagar coming through, as well as that Ahri. So Yale gonna have their work cut out for them here, but of note, Bitnari gonna be picking up that Ahri. So, you know, got the Lux band away, had the Shen band away for Turtle Wizard as well. We didn't really get to talk about those second round bans too much, but the Volibear coming in for Turtle Wizard gonna make him have a little bit more kill pressure in this lane this time around. Of course, had that solo kill against Orenji's Gnar in that first blood here, but Volibear has a little bit more of those tools, and we could see that come through. And the best part about Volibear is that he can just jump right through that Vagar cage if he wants.
Yeah, well, we'll see. And again, with what Turtle Wizard has really shown in these past few series, is that when he does get a lead on something that has a bit more impact, you can obviously have an impact on some sort of big tanky frontliner, but something where he's doing a bit more damage and can really start to pop off in skirmishes by himself. He's proven that if he does get that lead, especially with Dats GG loving to spend that time on the top side, this might be kind of problematic for Mint Gaming. You know, it was a situation where Renji was getting solo killed by an Ornn, so now you have a Volibear to face up against. It might be a little tougher. So they do have the Ornn on their side though, so they're going to have that tool, the Ornn Horn, and also those item upgrades later on. But I am super interested, mainly because, again, even with that Vigar pick, I'm just not seeing. Again, it would have to be very well executed from Mint Gaming Chocolate here. Like, not to say that it's completely doomed, obviously, but it's something that I would say they need to play slow, careful, and very organized to make sure both Killua and both A-Ward are able to pick up the money they need, get their core items, and then play with them. Like, again, you can't do stuff off on your own. You can't have Zac and Ornn trying to, like, 2v3 up in the topside jungle or something. You need to make sure you're playing with the Vigar and the Xayah. But on the other side for Yale, I'm seeing a lot of snowball potential. Again, it is something to deal with the Ahri Spirit Rush down in the bot lane, being able to charm up Xayah if she's able to snag it before she ults. You're going to have a Tristana Rakan jumping on you non-stop, as well as a Volibear and a Diana coupled on top of that. So like I said, A-Ward with the Xayah, you have some time with that Xayah ult to reposition, but you're going to have to reposition well. But we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, Yale's just bringing the goon squad everywhere they go. They have literally one of the best tower divers because he turns off the tower in the Volibear, of course. You've got the Rakan to be able to follow up with all of that crowd control. Diana pulls them all in as well, so you have the wombo combo potential here. Whereas on the flip side, it's not too bad in their own right. You get a big Alistar knockup into an Ornn knockup, a Zac knockup. I think we're going to have a lot of explosive team fights in this one, but we'll go over these rosters once again. Repeating on blue side here is going to be Yale Esports with Turtle Wizard piloting the Volibear this time up in the top side. That's GG in the jungle, Bitnari in the mid lane, Nice Condemn in the bottom lane, and Ceratosaurus at support. And on your red side, it's going to be Mint Gaming Chocolate with Orenji up in the top lane, Imsfo in the jungle, Vagar for Killua Zoldyck in the mid lane, A-Ward on the Bird in the bot lane, and Mega Jation on that cow as the support. So we've got the whole zoo here, and we're about to lock ourselves in for a very interesting matchup.
You can't say that.
We're gonna head to a break while we wait for the spectator delay, but we have a lot of animals in this game. I'm just putting it out there. So we'll be back after this break when we analyze the zoology of League of Legends. We'll be back. Welcome back, everyone, to Game 2 of UGL Finals here. Half Asian Dad and Listuya here on the Rift with you here. Yale and Mint Gaming Chocolate, as Yale have themselves a 1-0 lead in this series and look to extend that and put themselves on championship point here. But we were talking a little bit in the break about the drafts, and we said, Yale comp, good. It's what we saw last game. They're sticking to their guns. A couple of different champions here and there, the Tristana, the Ari, and the Volibear specifically, but, you know, still sticking to the same sort of deal that they had. On the flip side, though, very conditional damage coming through from the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate, and we're a little bit worried as to the reliability of that damage, we'll say.
Yeah, you know, even though DatsGG has I was actually wondering how many games we've actually seen him been able to play Diana and how it gets through draft every time. But here he is again on it, and you know, despite the success that he has had in several series with it, you know, he's able to get it again and again. And I think it's probably one of Yale's biggest factors that is leading to a lot of their wins. He's just so very comfortable on it and is able to you know, just make plays happen, you know, be at the right place at the right time. And it's something that, you know, when you're throwing off certain champions that you're super comfortable on, you're not going to be in that like perfect headspace of being at that right place, you know what play to go for. So I'm surprised that he keeps getting this comfort pick. But regardless, as you were mentioning with the difference in the compositions, yes, there is a lot of pressure right now on the shoulders of both Killua and Award here, where they have to be the ones to be able to get ahead, and whether it's by themselves, like in the 2v2 bot lane, or the 1v1 mid, I think a lot of it has to come from the jungler for our Mint Gaming Chocolate here to be able to get these guys ahead. I think this time around, you got to really leave Renji alone. Ooh. And already some early aggression here at the two-man Rakan W there. Ceratosaurus kind of showing he's ready to go on this pick, taking it away from what was probably going to be that Xayah Rakan lane, instead going to be that Xayah Alistar lane now, I should say. Yeah. And back and forth, Turtle Wizard is actually, oh my gosh, I could just never get over the amount of aggression in these top lanes is always just so fascinating to see.
Turtle Wizard just going right at Renji this early, forcing him to burn one of those corrupting potion stacks. But of course, we know Volibear does more damage overall than Ornn will do. That's just how the champion is built, unless, of course, Renji goes full damage, which we most likely won't see. But for the most part, thus far, junglers actually mirroring their pathings this time around, both going bot to top. So maybe a little bit more priority here around making this top lane matchup swing one way or another. But as you said, Ceratosaurus feeling very comfortable already, going in with that grand entrance nice and early. And of course, Rakan using the standalone skin, making sure that he can separate himself out from Xayah in this one by using a different skin. But once again, just keeps going in here. And, you know, a little bit of damage traded back and forth there. But overall, Ceratosaurus is feeling himself in this lane and definitely wants to continue pushing forward. But we'll have to see how this all works out in terms of the aggression. So let's talk mid lane here for a little bit, as of course it pans to top lane. What are we expecting? Who wins this matchup in terms of early, mid, late? I'm pretty sure we know Veigar will end up winning late, but how does this early laning go for him?
So you can take a look at a couple factors here, even aside from the matchup itself. But Turtle Wizard and Renji are going to be the chance, the chomp.
Oh my goodness, the healing coming out from that chomp. Able to keep him alive. He's going to flash forward. Chomp auto. That's enough. Take them down. Taking names as Turtle Wizard, otherwise known as Bear Wizard, up on that top side. We were talking about the zoo from the beginning, and he's unleashed already, taking down the Ram nice and early. First blood over to Yale once again. And asserting his dominance up in that top lane once again is Turtle Wizard.
You know, I don't really have, excuse me, any bias or any biases for like the teams that have played in UGL so far. I'm not too close with any of them, but I know for a fact I like Turtle Wizard. Like this guy, every time I watch him, like he always manages to perform fairly consistently, usually getting some sort of lead, and if not getting a lead, being threatening. And he's already shown the amount of times he's, you know, just picking up solo kills up in this top side. It doesn't matter if he's Ornn, Volibear, whatever. So, you know, pretty good to see a nice kill lead on him for the side of Yale. If you're Yale, you're definitely kind of smiling about that one, especially nice condemning Ceratosaurus here. You know, they're actually being pushed off a little bit as they're just letting this wave here push in. Don't really exactly have the option to freeze it with Tristana with her E being able to proc, but Ari's down to the bot side.
Yep, Ari already roaming down at level 5. Actually blocked the headbutt coming through from the Alistar with the charm, and she's able to pick up her first kill of the game. Must have been able to shove that Veigar in quite a bit here because she has a CS lead as well as a kill in her pocket now, and Yale already explosively out in the lead.
So this is what I had anticipated when I was looking at this draft, is that, again, there's so many more potentials for just easy early game picks that are going to allow for snowballs. And again, something like an Ari gank followed up with a Rakan and the Tristana being able to just blow up one person and get a reset from there, it's just too easy to execute. It's like you have to at least go into this game, if you are Mint Gaming, saying that, like, this is their playbook. Like, this is what they want to do. They want to play that early aggression. They want to make those early plays happen. And topside, Turtle Wizard wants to see if he can get another kill on RNG.
Oh, he's able to dodge out on the Oranhorn, and that's one more auto that he needs there. He might just drop down on all fours. He's going to chase him down, and bam goes the pause onto the back of that Ornn, and that's going to be another solo kill for Turtle Wizard. He's so comfortable in this lane. He already has that Phage. I'm pretty sure he's going Divine Sunder. He's just going for the jugular in this one as he continues to assert his dominance in the top lane and makes a case for, any of those UML teams. You want a top laner? This guy might be looking for a team soon because he's popping off up on the top side.
Yeah, no, to say the least, maybe a little bit of a bright future here for this guy, because otherwise, I mean, it's just so nice to see him always get these leads. But Midnari right now might be in a bit of a situation, having to Spirit Rush away, because we're looking at both teams kind of posturing around this first dragon being the Infernal Dragon here.
Ooh,
Charm does land up on a Killua there, but trapped in a cage.
Oh, dodges away from everything, though, in the cage. Gets hit by 1Q. That's all that she wrote here, but Imsfo gonna come back around, is on a ward, so Bitnari will have ample information about where the Zac is coming from and can probably charm out of that jump as well. But thus far, Yale just controlling the map through mostly the top lane, I dare say, because this Volibear is quite strong at this stage, but also, Ari roaming down, picking up a kill, and having a 20 CS advantage over Killua at this stage. It's a lost chapter difference right now. As this bot lane even gonna he stole the blue buff. That's insane. And RNG now in trouble. We're just gonna keep going with all of this action. RNG gonna try and get out of this one. Moonfall pull back, and that's GG getting on the board with their first kill of the game. As Imsfo looking for that level 6 mark. Mod checks in chat. Where's my blue buff? It's on Rakan.
No, that is, plays like that. Like, you can look at the actual value of it, of like, oh, what's the actual gold value of having the blue buff for the duration and the actual gold and XP I'm getting from it. But, take all that away, it's the psychological warfare. That is just like, that is crushing right there, just having a Rakan come in and double your blue. But right now, looks like it might be another possible 4v4 here. Turtle Wizard does have the teleport available.
Yeah, Imso's still level 5, though. No ultimate up and available. A-Word was actually the one to teleport down to that bot side there, so just wanted to clean up that wave. Looks like they're going to try and pick up this dragon, but even then, there's a lot of members of Yale still up and around the map, and they know full well of these rotations. But Alistar actually headbutts Rakan back, as I see on the mini-map, but up top side, Turtle Wizard going aggressive once again, getting those lightning paws, the mini static shiv to go hard. Ceratosaurus now in a little bit of trouble. Imsfo still level 5. You don't have your Let's Bounce. What are you doing? As Rakan tries to jump in, but a little bit short. And they're just going to all walk away, so nothing ends up happening on the bottom side, but there might be a dragon going over to the side of Yale at the end of this one. They're already up 2,500 gold, almost 3,000.
Yeah, if you're Mint Gaming right now, you need to just give up this dragon. They wanted it so bad. They were posturing around it for so long, too. And again, it just takes so much time and resources elsewhere, where the times where you could be farming, or you could be fighting.
Yeah, A-Word actually going to be forced to use that ultimate very early. The Feather Storm not going to be, or it will be enough to actually get him out of there, but Turtle Wizard going under the tower, top down on the Ram once again. That is an 0-4 Ornn, as another solo kill, another day for Turtle Wizard. He's feeling himself up in this top lane and really starting to build that gold lead up. And actually, if we can get the Observer, we'll actually get back to that in a second, as that's GG going to dash in here onto Imsfo. He finally has that level 6 mark, but he's going to get knocked out. The very short teleport coming through from Veigar to get on the opposite side. The flash cage forward, though, as this is going to be Volibear coming in off the side. A-Word able to pick up That's GG off of the top there as Turtle Wizard looking for something. No ultimate available, but Bitnari going to use 1 Spirit Rush, 2 Spirit Rush, get a kill, and use that third one to clean up the double. Will be the shutdown, though, going back over to Imsfo. In the end, it is a 2 for 2 on the bot side of the map, but a little bit more gold going over in favor of Mint Gaming Chocolate.
Yeah, no, they were able to pick up a couple kills there, which is crucial because you do need that, you know, just like being able to have farm is one thing, but for this composition to work, you need to see some kills on these carries, or at the very least getting some assist gold and XP on them, which both Killua and Award were able to pick up this time around. But again, it is still a pretty good lead in the favor of Yale right now, and looks like Bitnari's in a little bit of trouble here with the Zac. The Zac still having passive up. It's kind of fine, just trying to fight him off the turret as Killua's here making his way back. But you did mention it earlier, and I will mention it again now, with Bitnari having about a 40 CS lead here in the mid lane at 11 minutes right now. Looking very good with the amount of gold he's got. He's about 50 gold off of his Leandry's finish if he decides not to opt for the boots and just get that full mythic right away. But that's GG. Another... Oh, actually, no, yeah, no, the Diana did get that. That's going to be the Zac passive dropped as well.
And Bitnari.
And yeah, Bitnari's there as well for an assist, just to help out a little bit. But that is 2 buffs that poor YMZ, I think I'm just going to say, is easiest. But this guy can't have buffs in his own jungle, and it's not a great feeling to have. And Renji right now is a little upset about some of the mishaps that have happened top lane, kind of giving him a clap back, even though he's 2 levels down right now. And the Divine Sunder already finished on Turtle Wizard right now. We're seeing the effectiveness of that damage. Half of the Orin's health, even though it was about half of Volibear's as well, as he's, you know, they are taking these trades back and forth, but Turtle Wizard is going to sustain a little bit better, having that Sheen proc that's going to give him some of his health back and not even needing that grass, but having the PTA, and it's getting so close. If he can find that chomp.
Oh, he's going to ult again
it's not
there.
Close.
Oh,
Bitnari having to flash away, you know, it was a pretty good cage to be able to stop it, and, you know, Yale is just living in YMZ's jungle right now.
Yeah, and Imsfo is going to try and go for a play here, but the Moonfall on the back end, as well as Ceratosaurus coming through. This actually might be the Tristana going down, as Mega Jation is the one to pick it up. That's not necessarily the target you want. Ceratosaurus as well going down, and this is actually turning into a little bit of a disaster. They overreach in the jungle, and they give up 3 kills. 2 of them going over to A-Word, and that's the person that you want those kills on, the person you want to transfer those double buffs to, and the person that is going to end up having to carry the brunt of that load. So A-Word doing quite well in all essence, as actually I just realized Orenji died on top again, so.
Okay, yeah, I was just looking up there, like, Orin's not there anymore, and okay, so yeah, Turtle Wizard is still laying some havoc down there, or excuse me, up there, but on the bot side, again, it is fantastic to see finally Mint Gaming able to pick up a few kills, even more so than what happened earlier. And again, now the Xayah is 3-2. That's looking so much nicer for the game. The Tristana, even though she's keeping up in CS with her, it is going to be advantage going over to the Xayah right now. Tristana also having the Berserker Greaves finish, it's delaying her Mythic a little bit, whether it's going to be the Gale Force or the Kraken, as opposed to A-Ward, who not only has the Berserker Greaves, but having that Gale Force finish. So what I'm wanting to see bot lane right now is, knowing that the Tristana does not have her Gale Force available, trying to make a play happen, a bit more of an aggressive play with the Alistar, knowing that your Xayah does have a pretty good damage advantage versus this Tristana right now. But if you're knowing that they're getting deep vision and That's GG might be around on this side of the map, it's a little scary to go for a play. They do have him spotted out with some deep vision at her red, which is nice to see, but I think they're just gonna wait about 15 seconds for this next dragon to come up here.
I think that's most likely the play they're going for. You can see the vision they're trying to put down here. Mega Jation is able to reply to most of it, but I don't think he's going to be able to reply to all this crowd control. Half his HP bar gone, as well as Turtle Wizard doing Turtle Wizard things up on the top side. Orin is able to trade back rather effectively up to a certain point. Of course, once the chomps start coming down, too much healing comes through from that Volibear, but as we were talking about, the neutral objective is going to hold my breath for now, as they're able to take that down. The cage coming down, as well as the Renji is available on site. 2 kills already going down onto the Tristana and the Rakan. The third one going to go over as well into the pockets of Killua Zoldyck. And this is starting to turn around a little bit here. This is the comeback story for the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate, as they lose the dragon but pick up 3 kills again on the back end of it.
Yeah, no, it hurts to have those first two dragons taken away, but it's not the end of the world if you're able to pick up the next few. And again, having the gold that you've just picked up, we're almost at about, 2k gold in favor of Yale. It might be even less if Bitnari manages to fall to Killua there. He's going to stay safe. And A-Ward almost being taken out by a turret. No gold would go over to, Yale for that one, but it's still something you need to be careful of down there, buddy.
Oh,
And Bitnari landed the charm on the Mega there, picking up a kill of his own on a rampage. And
oh wait, look at the fancy feet though. He's able to dodge away from the W from Vhagar. And I'm gonna be honest, I only know what his E and his alt are, but regardless, the skill shots, he dodged them. That's what's important. Bitnari stays alive and saves the shutdown of note. And despite, Killua being in all of these team fights that have happened around these neutral objectives and in the bot side jungle, it's still a substantial lead for Bitnari. He has a 500 gold shutdown and he's up 45 CS at this stage, but actually Turtle Wizard might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew. He's trying to continue this fight, but GG has shown up as well. Big Moonfall into the Stormbringer. What a combo coming down onto the head of Orenji, and Imsfo now on the run. Gonna try and jump out of there. Is stunned up briefly. GG, one more Crescent Strike. Gonna swipe him in the back. Ceratosaurus, though, gonna flash directly on top. As the charm comes through, the knockup comes through, and Bitnari goes unstoppable. 450 gold shutdown going to be going up even further as Killua's ult, it goes down. 3 kills across the map, and Yale kind of affirm themselves here in the lead, going up back to about 4,000 gold in the lead.
That hurts, especially, I completely understand the thought process of YMZ and Orenji trying to be able to see if they can pick off Turtle Wizard, get a little bit of shutdown gold under their belt as well, thinking oh, maybe he's overextending. But as we mentioned early on in the game, GG knows and can smell when something's up. They're at the right place at the right time. And that Wombo combo coming out from the Volibear and Diana is nasty. But also in the mid lane there, we did see a very cool little, chaining of the CC with both Bitnari and Ceratosaurus there. The Ahri charm, or excuse me, the Recon ult, able to charm into the Ahri charm and the knockup. Poor Killua really just could not move that entire time. And I would actually say, it may not be the worst option for the Vhagar in this sense, and I would probably argue the Ahri as well, to be able to pick up Mercury Treads here because of what we just saw there. Even though you're not able to reduce the duration of knockups, and there's a lot of knockups in this game, but we saw what happens when you're charmed for about 5 seconds straight. You're really, it doesn't matter how much damage the Stork Shoes and everything like that would have given you if you can't move.
Yeah, and Mega J-Tun's finding that out the hard way. Actually gonna flash out, but great Feather Storm there coming through from the Xayah, but in the backline, Ceratosaurus might be biting off a little bit more than he can chew. He's gonna get taken down by Imsfo in the Let's Bounce. Turtle Wizard up on the top side, canceling some auto attacks. Gonna try and chase this down. Look at this. I swear he's doing this for the content. Gonna slap and bite down on the Ram. Gonna eat some lamb for dinner here, as it's a 1-for-1 in the end, as Imsfo able to pick up the Recon. But up on the top side, as always, Turtle Wizard going to be able to take down Orenji. I think that's the 6th time he's killed him this game. Meanwhile, on bot side, Bitnari in a fight with Imsfo, going to get the charm down, but GG has shown up as well. Into the blobs they go. Nice condemn, might be donated this one, but the teleport gonna come down as well. Killua Zoldyck was a little bit too close for comfort as A-Ward teleports in. They run away, they save the Zac, but they give up the Vhagar's life for that, as Turtle Wizard still farming up on the top side.
Yeah, no, that was honestly, it's these back and forths that, Bitnari in a position that she really should not have been and almost getting caught out there, but the team responding just in time to be able to turn the tides of it. So it's nice to see, a bit of team communication there, and that, Turtle Wizard might have DC'd again. It looks like there's some connectivity issues for this series, but that's okay. Maybe Orenji's getting a little upset pulling the drop hacker out. Who knows, man?
Yeah,
we're not
drop it. What's your Skype address here? Send you the DDoS. Go.
Yeah, the good old Skype hack. But no, it looks like we got the game back rolling here. It just takes a couple seconds to get him booted back up here. But yeah, no, the gold lead is still very much in favor of Yale right now, being a little less than 5k gold up, with a massive bounty on basically everyone on the top side here. So Turtle Wizard and Bitnari have to be the main targets for Mint Gaming right now. As the third dragon is about to respawn, it's going to be an Earth Soul to see.
Yeah, Mega J-Tun going to be able to find both of them with that, but Ceratosaurus on the back line, charm, and he's going to knock someone up at the end of that. Charms up Mega Jayton as well as Bitnari's dominating now, able to pick up that kill. 1 charge of the Spirit Rush, 2 charges of the Spirit Rush, able to pick up a double kill as well. Ornhorn gonna come down, but it's a little bit too little too late. The health bars are blinking red, but no one's able to clean that up. A double kill going over to Turtle Wizard, and another couple kills going into the pocket of Bitnari. Might as well call him Bit-Ari after this one, because this is quite the performance coming out from Bitnari thus far.
Yeah, no, it's something, even though I really hadn't seen Bitnari be playing, or actually, let me double check my notes, but as far as I remember, it does look like I'm correct in that. Oh, actually, no, I'm sorry, I was wrong. It is one of his most played, and Ceratosaurus there getting so very low range. Volibear ulting in.
Yeah, Turtle Wizard biting down on the Ornn again. 1-8-1. You hate to see it. Tanking up the tower, though, for quite a while. Nice Condemn going to be able to jump out of there. The Sterak's Gauge shield that he also has will keep him alive as Mega Jayton tries to jump in and ends up getting blasted farther out than he started. Imsfo still jumping forward, still looking for something, but he's looking in the wrong place at the wrong time. Nice Condemn should be able to trot her way out of there, and Turtle Wizard just gonna go summon some lightning and back as well. But overall, really good push from the side of Yale. They're able to pick up that tier 2 turret, the dragon as well, and a couple of auxiliary kills on the back end of that team fight. But they might be trading this for that mid tier 1 turret. Award and Killua are here on scene. Actually, they have enough wave clear to clear it out, so should be able to keep that tower alive for now. But that gold lead has exploded up to about 7,500 now in favor of Yale.
Yeah, I was just mentioning right before that fight had started off, you need to get someone like Bitnari that's worth 1,000 gold right now.
Yep, and Bitnari is down as Killua Zoldyck uses the ultimate and absolutely demolishes the Ari. Very sorry for your loss, Yale, but looks like they're going to keep looking on the chase here. Imsfo going to jump back in, actually, and this is Turtle Wizard in the middle of everyone, healing up a whole lot, though. Able to get a stun, as well as a little bit of damage down onto Mega Jayton as That's GG goes on a killing spree. Nice Condemn takes down Mega Jayton. This is a 2 for 2 thus far. Award using that Gale Force forward, picking up the kill onto Nice Condemn, and That's GG has nothing left on the side. Imso gonna jump forward as well, and you're gonna have to see a miracle play. This is where it is. The Moonfall gonna come down, gonna take down the Xayah as well. That's GG healing so much, but not enough, as that's gonna be the Immolate passive coming out from the Ornn, and the Sun, or the Forge Fire Crest there, gonna be able to clean that up. And Imsfo gonna complete the delayed ace, as Mint Gaming Chocolate show they still have a little bit of life left inside them, as all things considered ends up being about a 5 for 3 in favor of Mint Gaming Chocolate.
And that was right before, or like Killua able to pick up that shutdown. Like, that should have been it. You know, you get that shutdown, you disengage, you know, everybody resets, buys, manages the waves. But a fight continued after that, and that was one of the probably biggest mistakes you could have done, because not like it was a fantastic pickup. You have 1,000, your mid laner now is 1,000 more gold than he had before, but it doesn't, that getting that shutdown doesn't mean anything until you spend it. Until, like, if you're sitting on gold, like, you can be 10-0, but if you never go to shop, it doesn't matter. Like, so you need to be able to spend that. They needed to just get the victory. They did, but I would actually, you know, I'll give props to Award actually here on the Xayah is actually playing these fights pretty well. And I think it's a lot of what is actually leading some of these picks that they're able to pick up the gold and the kills that they can is because of the Xayah pick so far. And, you know, I was a little worried against things like the Volibear and the Diana that are usually going to be a bit healthier, but it's mainly just looking like Turtle Wizard that has all the defense for Yale right now. But usually we're seeing the Gale Force into Essence Reaver for the Xayah, and having that CDR, or I guess the ability haste, is just so important with her cooldowns and getting the feathers out, where you're not able to get something along the lines of like a PD or you know, an LDR if you need it versus the, you know, bigger tanks. So I was worried they wouldn't be able to take out Turtle Wizard, but he is doing a good job of staying alive and DPSing to the best of his ability. But right now, they really need to keep in mind this is Yale's sole point. If they are able to secure this, it will be a mountain soul for them.
And speaking of doing damage to the likes of Turtle Wizard, he has a Frozen Heart now. That's a lot of tanky stats coming through, especially against the likes of Award. So Award gonna just teleport back in. Doesn't quite have that Lord Dominic's quite yet, but you can see that it's just a little bit of split map as Bitnari going to do a little bit of damage to RNG. Not that much if we're talking real here because it's RNG on the Ornn, of course. But you can see the wave they're pushing in. They have a lot of mid priority. They have their top lane pushing in as well. So realistically, they don't need to force this fight. But with Dragon spawning in about 10 seconds, it's going to get a fight whether we want them to fight or not. As Dragon gonna fly down onto the Rift. A couple of skill shots going out. RNG gonna get struck by lightning. Not the first time this game that's happened, but who's gonna start up this Dragon? And A-Word looks like he's gonna be the one to start auto-attacking this one. But on the flank here, DatsGG has wrapped around, and here they go in for the play. Bitnari gonna get a charm onto someone dashing over the wall. Gonna be A-Word going down first in this fight to DatsGG, and that's the target that they wanted to get on the back end. The Diana able to pick up a double kill already. They're chasing down a fourth kill here as Ari gonna pick that one up, and Nice Condemn might finally get on the board. No, it's stolen away by Ceratosaurus, but a clean 5-for-0 ace for the side of Yale. We said they didn't need to force it. They didn't, but they got a great flank off from the Diana, able to wrap around, get that kill onto A-Word before they even had a chance to do any damage. They get the soul, and they're going to be able to pick up an inhibitor off the back end of this, and this might be the decisive fight that Yale was looking for to really catapult themselves into a massive advantage.
It is a sad day as an AD carry when, again, like a lot of the pressure is on your back for this game. You have the majority of the gold. This, the composition is basically centered around you, and then a Diana just casually walks up to you and smacks you across the face and says, "Yeah, you can't really play this game anymore. You're an AD carry." So, yeah, it was honestly very unfortunate to see, and that's what Yale has to keep in mind, is that as soon as they take out Killua and A-Ward, you just have a bunch of meatballs that aren't going to be able to do anything to you. So, taking out those big carries early was actually very well done by Yale, and we need to see Mint Gaming here as the Baron is now available and up for either of the teams taking, to be able to keep in mind, and more so, you gotta really stare at your carries. One of the biggest pieces of advice I was ever given in League is that you should really never even be looking at your own character. It's more so an extension of your brain. You should already know what your character is doing, and you stare at others. It's either you're staring at the enemy, you're staring at your teammates, and you need to be aware of not only the situation that you yourself are in, but what they are in, because at the end of the day, it is a team game. So right now, Yale, not only having a pretty solid gold lead in their favor, but also having that Mountain Soul is going to make it that much tougher for Mint Gaming to be able to slice through the frontliners of Yale right now. The Vygar, Killua here down in the bot side does have teleport available, but look at the damage coming out from that Ari, with poor Zaya there being at probably about 40% health from just an Ari Q. Like, not even the whole combo with everything else. That's just the Q she throws out. So, he's taken down pretty low, does have the LDR finish, but no sustain in the build is making them kind of suffer a little bit. They are starting up Baron for the side of Yale right now. Bitnari is even sitting in the bush for maybe a little bit of a cheesy pick. Taking down YMZ here, again, so very low, and that's an easy Baron over to them as a fight breaks out.
Yeah, this is a little bit of an awkward fight, though. That's GG going to be able to go on a killing spree, but look at the Zaya in the backline doing so much damage, able to clean up 3 for herself, but at the back end of that, look at the damage coming out from That's GG. Triple kills going back and forth, and that one ends up being a 1 fight for the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate, but where was Turtle Wizard during all that? Oh yeah, he's at your inhibitor tower. He's trying to knock this down. He's got those baroned up minions. But might be getting collapsed on here. I don't know how he fares in this 2v1. I think he probably wins that, so gonna just walk right back up that tower. Yeah.
Like, I don't think he has too much to worry about. He's like, wait a second, I'm a 9-2 Volibear. I'm gonna just walk up and take this.
He's gonna take that tower as RNG thought differently of that, was just going to walk around, take the safe way. So all things considered, ends up being Baron on only one of Turtle Wizard there. He's the only one dressed in purple here, but the Wizard is the only one who needs to wear those purple robes here. Be able to pick up a Gromp as well. So, Turtle Wizard not being in that fight, a little bit unfortunate, but no real teleport position for him there. Ends up getting an inhibitor turret. Now there's 2 exposed inhibitors. That base is almost naked here, as they can just walk it down now and potentially pick up a couple of those neutrals, as Elder now the next objective up in about 2.5 minutes. But you've got to keep in mind that there is Ornn scaling on the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate, and with the Typhoon finish now for the Zaya, how do you see them getting back into this one? Well, it shows that they're 8,000 gold down. The stat difference, not so much. Actually, Renji going to take a lot of damage. The orange difference is more so in the champion, not so much the items here, because he just got taken down like that. But another fight breaking out here. This is a 3v2. This is not a smart fight. Ceratosaurus going to try and charm on the backside, but look at the damage coming out from Turtle Wizard. I'm lying here to anyone who thinks that this Volibear is in bed. He's in a 1v3 right now. Might try and get out of this one, but look at the damage he's doing to Imspo. Has that Steric shield as well. He's getting knocked around everywhere, just healing so much. You've got to take this guy down. Gonna send Killua into the Golden Realm. Flashes away from the knockup as he takes down Imspo. This is a 1v4 from Volibear. He's staying alive for so long. He takes down the Veigar. And meanwhile, in base, there's just a Tristana and a Diana running your base down. They're able to clean up so many kills off of that Volibear. They're able to win the fight on top side, and they're able to pick up that game. What a game coming out from Yale Esports.
Wow. Man, I don't know, dude. These games are really something else. Another maybe not as dominating performance. We did see oh oh my goodness, I'm sorry. Mint Gaming Chocolate actually being able to slap back a little bit. And, they did really show that they were, contenders for that game. They were trying to claw their way back, but it was just, by the time Yale finds their footing, it really is just absolutely disastrous. Just how quickly they're able to snowball that lead. They're able to have fantastic objective control and being able to secure that soul as well. So I really think a lot of that problem is laying with the draft for Mint Gaming Chocolate here. And again, we saw just how easy it was to shut down the composition that they did accumulate with the Veigar and the Zion on the backside, and a Diana kind of just walking around and popping them both. So if you want to go for something like that again, it's definitely got maybe some more protection tools for those carries and being a bit more wary of them, or maybe just switching it up entirely and maybe giving the solos maybe a little bit more just solo potential of being able to do things rather than just because again, Veigar, even though it does a lot of damage, it's more so for the utility of having the cage and everything. But Bitnari dealt with that fairly spectacularly. A very good Ari game by him as well. And overall, all the members of Yale had a solid game on that one. So, finishing game 2 off strong and maybe looking for a 3-0 if they can find their way. But on the other side, though, Mint Gaming Chocolate, they definitely have plenty of room to, squeeze their way back into this series, get a bit of a reverse sweep going. I've seen it once, and I'm sure I'll see it again.
Yeah, and we'll find out if the reverse sweep dream is alive for Mint Gaming Chocolate, or if Yale is going to be able to pull the brooms out and sweep them away here. We'll be able to see how that turns out as Yale up 2-0 in the series as of right now. We'll be back with game 3 as the players are just hopping into the lobby right now. We'll be back with more UGL action. Welcome back, everyone. This is game 3 of our UGL finals. Half Asian Dad alongside Listuya here to bring you what could be our championship game, our last game of the season here for UGL. As Yale up 2-0 in the series, they're going to be on red side for this game, as we're going to have Mint Gaming Chocolate opting for blue side this time around. But last game, my goodness, a turtle gap up in the top lane.
Man, I was just telling you right in the little intermission there. I'm a pretty big simp for Turtle Wizard. Like this guy, I'm not even sure. So it's pretty weird, right? So there is this trend where not only in this series but in previous ones, there is a situation where Turtle is a threat. And so if you're the side of, oh goodness me, why do I keep forgetting Mint Gaming Chocolate? I think I just want to keep saying Mint Chocolate, but um you really they need to keep in mind, like, okay, this guy is a problem that if he even gets slightly ahead, he is going to have basically enough of a threat to where we saw towards the end of the game there, he 1v4'd. Like, that was absolutely ridiculous to watch. Just one Volibear just plowing through the entire team of Mint Gaming Chocolate. So they had several priority bans as well. So they do have the respect ban saying that we're not going to give you something like the Mordekaiser. We see what you do on that, and a few of the other picks as well. So I'm really hoping they probably go into this one with a game plan and really shutting down Turtle Wizard, because I think a lot of the success. So I think they need to go into this. They need to ban Diana away from Dad's GG, and they need to figure out possibly even giving Orenji the counter pick for the top lane and really giving them a good situation, maybe some sort of good top, I guess, top jungle synergy, something like, I doubt they would pick it, but something along the lines of Renekton and Talia, basically, where, it's two champions that it's going to be so easy to follow up on, and again, really, really just try to, because in the times where Orenji's even behind and he's skirmishing back and forth with him, he's still fighting him pretty well. Like, he ends up dying eventually in the lane later on after like 2 or 3 little skirmishes, but it's not like he's doing very terrible like at the champion he's playing. It's just in the end he is getting the worst end of the stick there, and especially with having so much jungle priority coming out from Dats GG is a problem. And I would also want to say Bit and Ari for game 2 on the Ari was actually, or as you had the little joke of Bit Ari, was actually pretty impressive, managing to have some good presence down in the bot lane very early on, and eventually not only accumulating a CS lead, but just overall an XP and just item advantage over the Vigar that we saw what happened with one REQ to both A Ward, that was, the squishy 80 carry, but then we saw what happened to Orenji too on like the tank, and it's like, man, or actually no, it was YMC on the Zac, where it's like, yeah, one REQ is doing 60% of my health, and I have nothing but health and like MR and armor items. Like, this is rough. So I'm really hoping that at least, A-Word, I would say from watching him a bit, I think they would do a good job of playing weak side bot lane. So to play something more scaling in the bot side and then having really good priority picks for the solo lanes and junglers is probably the way that Mint Gaming Chocolate wants to go. And on the other side, though, like with what Yale has been drafting, it's honestly, they can switch it up several different ways, because again, sometimes it's Turtle, sometimes Nice Condemns the one popping off. Like, it's kind of hopped around the different responsibilities of these players. So they have several threats that they can basically make the make where they want to put the focus around. So it does look like Mint Chocolate Gaming is actually going to be picking up the Echo for the first pick. And otherwise, on the other side, though, it is something that we saw in previous series on Yale, which is going to be the Varus Kench.
I like this draft already. The Blitzcrank gonna come out as well to try and counter that Tom Kench, where if Tom Kench eats someone, you get 2 for the price of 1. So good combos already coming out, and the Yone was left unbanned, so Killua Zoldyck gonna be able to pick that one up. But as you said, you get the Diana ban, you get the Mordekaiser ban, you get the Ezreal ban. Those are 3 of the main picks that we've been keeping an eye on in terms of this series. Of course, Mordekaiser been benched the entire time. But what's it gonna be? It's gonna be a Lee Sin coming through here, so could be a solo lane Lee Sin, could be going top lane for Turtle Wizard, but a lot of flexibility in terms of that pick right now. And I like the change in draft from both of these sides here. You see the Echo first pick, you reply with that Tom Javaris, which is something we haven't seen out of Yale yet this series, and they reply instantly with the Blitzcrank Yone. So good to see that we're going to have a different vibe to game 3 already.
Yeah, no, a different vibe for sure. And again, if you told me in any previous season that, or I can't say any previous season because it was obviously popular in early seasons 1 through 3 and such, but if you were to tell me like in the past couple of years, hey, Lee Sin would be one of the highest priority picks for jungle, top, and mid lane, I would actually look at you and like just question everything you're saying. But that is the current state of Lee Sin. You can really throw him anywhere, whether it's usually better in the lanes. Not having the best jungle clear usually makes him a bit more susceptible, like the things, you know, Diana, Morgana, things that are just going to beat him in that sense. But in lane, I have definitely heard and gotten to see people experience the sustain of Lee Sin in a solo lane, especially mid lane, being able to roam around the jungle is honestly very nice to see. But it looks like it might actually be an Annie pickup for Yale here for the mid laner. That is going to be a lock-in, so that's it's definitely an interesting one. So we'll have to see if it's a Lee top or jungle for them right now. But on the side of Yale, they do decide to, for the second round of bans, they do the Tristana ban, which is something that we'd probably commonly see anyway with the AD not being picked, but they do give A-Ward the Xayah Respect ban, which again, I think it does say a lot. So we'll have to see what they decide to go with this Blitzcrank to answer the Varus Tahm Kench. I'm really curious, and maybe I'm wondering where the Yone's going. It could be a Syndra bot lane as well. I would be very shocked. Like, it is a very niche, very rare pick. And now we have Yasuo. Man, we've got a lot of things to discuss here. What is happening?
I'm gonna wait until. Oh, okay. So, is that Yone
weird.
bot lane?
It's okay, so it's definitely Yone or Syndra for sure. It's more than likely going to be the Gwen top Echo jungle. So, again,
where's this Yone going?
It's got to be Yone mid, Echo jungle, Gwen top. If I had to take a guess, Syndra is honestly like it's one of the less popular mages in the bot lane because you usually hear like Swain and Ziggs and Vigar. Even Cassiopeia at times. But Syndra is also one of the viable ones, and it's definitely something that, hey, Syndra's known that at level 6 she can one-hit an 80 carry, take the lane with 80 carries in it. The only thing I'm worried about with it is that it is versus the Varus Tahm Kench. It's something that it might be nice if you can actually get some blitz hooks, and you might be able to get some cheeky picks with it, but it's definitely... For Game 3, we've got a spicy draft coming out already from Min Gaming Chocolate. We said they needed to switch it up, and they're switching it up. So, hey, they're doing that at least. But on the side of Yale, though, it is going to be the Varus Tahm Kench in the bot lane, the Gnar in the top lane with Annie in the mid lane, and the Lee Sin jungle. So something, you know, that draft I can guess a little bit more easily. But yeah, this is an interesting one. This is definitely going to be interesting.
And I think the main thing is that we were talking about on the break is the fact that Mint Gaming Chocolate picked themselves into, or drafted themselves into a little bit of a hole in the first couple of matches. They didn't have enough damage. And this game, they have more than enough damage to go around. Even Blitzcrank, you know, does a decent chunk. But there's one question answered. Gwen up in the top lane against the Gnar. And Gwen is a champion we have not seen a lot of in UGL. But we have seen a lot of in, you know, collegiate and amateur, a very high priority champion. And Gwen, she does a lot of damage. So, you know, walk me through exactly what you expect to see out of this Gwen.
So, in my mind, at least from what I've seen, and I don't know all the intricacies of the matchups in the top lane, but at least from an AD carry perspective, that champion is so incredibly obnoxious, and while she is one of the few newer champions that has been released that does not have any form of crowd control really, besides the slow on the ult blades, just having the AoE that she's basically invulnerable to everything as long as she is inside it and you are not, basically the mechanic of Xin Zhao ult. It is super obnoxious if you are drafting things that, you know, are going to benefit from having longer range, but I want to say that the auto attack range of Mini Gnar is still going to be inside the AoE for the Gwen, so I don't think it's going to be impacting him too much. It's probably just going to be most frustrating for the Varus if they manage to get a Gwen Echo Yone dive onto him. It's a lot of responsibility for the Tahm Kench this game for Ceratosaurus to keep Nice Condemn alive here. And especially on top of all that, like, it's going to be dependent on where Mega J decides to, make some plays with his Blitzcrank. It's one of the champions that is most popular for just being able to be a menace and roam around the map and make plays. So I want to make sure that he's not just kind of running bot constantly and sitting there really with the Varus Tahm Kench, where realistically this bot lane just wants to farm. They're not looking to skirmish early on. I would say that Syndra Blitz probably does have the early kill potential on the Varus Tahm Kench, but that's GG. For one of the first games we've seen is not on Diana this time around. We get to see him on Lee Sin, so it'll be a super interesting matchup with Lee Sin versus Echo. And otherwise, I would actually say that just because of how scary of a champion Gwen is, and then also having YMZ on something like Echo as opposed to the tanks we've seen him on, I think they might actually be doing what I had mentioned of maybe shutting down Turtle Wizard. Like, if I'm looking at two picks, like, these are two things that could constantly get onto him and stick to him and actually take him down. So we'll see where YMZ actually wants to put that jungle prio, if they are actually thinking, yeah, we need to shut Turtle Wizard down, or if they're just playing the game as is. And I would say that the bot lane for Mint Gaming needs to make sure that they remember Bitnari has seemed to enjoy roaming bot lane quite a bit. Sometimes it's level 5, sometimes it's a few minutes after, but Bitnari is usually looking out for his bot lane, so they need to keep in mind of that. And otherwise, I want to see how the Syndra Blitz goes, and I would say this top side for Mint Gaming, they all have the potential to snowball, so this is looking a lot better than games 1 and 2.
Yeah, and we'll be able to see if they do snowball this game, because it is their backs up against the wall. They are down 2-0 to Yale Esports here, and Yale, they've got themselves a pretty good comp in their own right. Got a lot of team fight potential, but we'll find out who ends up winning this game and if Yale can take home the crown in quick fashion here via the sweep. We'll be right back after this break. This is UGL Finals, Game 3. And welcome back, everyone, to Game 3 of UGL Finals here. 2-0 in the lead for Yale. They're trying to finish off the side of Mint Gaming Chocolate, whereas Mint Gaming Chocolate pull out all of the big guns here. Once again, Half Asian Dad alongside Listuya here. And oh my goodness, are we going to get a level 1 invade already?
So Yale is anticipating it. You know, they say like, oh, they picked a blitz for a reason. They want to do some cheesy level 1 stuff, but it does look like that Mint Gaming is just going to be doing a standard 5-point, which is, I would say honestly the right choice now that I think about it more with the composition. Just looking at the level 1s of each of the teams, and obviously it depends on a lot of different factors as well. It depends on if Tom Kench is starting Q or W, because obviously triple auto in the Q is going to be a stun. The triple auto in the W is going to be him eating them up. That might make a difference, as well as Annie charging her stun in Fountain beforehand and actually maybe getting a big AoE W if they were face checking. So a few other things, like there's more things you could have set up to make sure that was a bit of a success if Mint Gaming actually wanted to go for the invade. But realistically, even if they go in there and land a blitz hook, like you don't have much like to actually follow up on. All these champions, you know, really need their 2 and 3s to actually be able to do something. So we anticipated something spicy. Not gonna happen this time around.
Yeah, I mean, the game is still going to be spicy regardless. Of course, Bitnari Annie versus Killua Zoldyck on the Yone, kind of fitting their IGNs a little bit more this game as well. But up on the top side, Turtle Wizard going to be playing into Teleport Ignite on the Gwen. As you can see, she snips away with that dash in there, giving her a whole bunch of attack speed and a whole bunch of extra damage. And Turtle Wizard actually might be in a little bit of trouble here, taken down to about 100 HP before he decides to back off of that one. But already a lot of action here in this one. Yeah,
that was taken surprisingly low there, Turtle Wizard. I'm surprised that Renji didn't actually like go for that in its entirety, especially having the advantage of the Ignite as well, as you mentioned, where we are seeing a lot of champions, more so like the Gwen and the Camille, where you know, you don't really need flash as much as with the kit that you have and as mobile as you are. So having the advantage or the kill potential of the Ignite, and then also the teleport for wave management and TP plays later on the game, it might actually end up, for Renji being down for the first 2 games, this might be the first one he actually gets rolling.
Yeah, Gwen is such a strong champion right now too. She has all of that true damage built into her kit. She just auto attacks really fast early on into the game, which is really good when you don't have items. Ceratosaurus eats the bars a little bit early, but Mega Jation is not able to finish up the combo there. No knockup available, as Annie in the mid lane taken down quite low as well. But so much fighting around the map, and yet nothing to speak of quite yet. It keeps panning down to this bottom lane like something's gonna happen, but Turtle Wizard and Orenji up on the top side, both ticking low, as well as in the mid lane. Killua Zoldyck has a healthy lead over this Annie in terms of health, at least, but in terms of the junglers right now, all even and squared up, as Lee Sin might be looking for a play on this bot side. But Ceratosaurus got to be a little bit careful when he decides to eat Nice Condemn.
Yeah, gonna get hooked up again.
Yeah, there's the combo with the stun, as Nice Condemn actually going to get taken quite low, but the Hail of Blades proc going to come through and burst blood over to the Varus. That is the power of Hail of Blades lethality, Varus, if that is what they're... That's GG now coming down as well. Nice Condemn going to try and push this wave in there, but A-Word has the teleport to get back there as quickly as possible.
I loved that from Condemn and Ceratosaurus there. It was a little bit of panic at first, because it did look really bad for Condemn there. Like, it was a really good blitz hook. They slapped the Ignite down onto him, and it was looking really bad. The Tom Kentrell, like, saves him, and I thought, oh, okay, like, close call, they disengage, but Nice Condemn, he knows his limitations on the Vars. He knows how much damage he does this early on. And as you mentioned, with the Hail of Blades, being able to slap on those W stacks and proc them, like, you know, had the W active on the Q and everything. Like, it was actually just so well done by the bot lane of Yale there, where that was actually, you know, something that I thought was at first going to be in favor of Mint Gaming, and then it's like, oh wait, no, it's just nothing, and then ends up going in Yale's favor.
Yeah, and you can see what might be going in Yale's favor is this mid lane play, as that's GG coming up, but Imsfo is around the corner as well. Thus far, by the looks of it, Nice Condemn gonna go for that Manamune into maybe the Prowler's Claw, which has gained a little bit more popularity. I for sure loves the Prowler's Claw on the Varus. Gives you a little bit more of that oomph to your piercing arrows, but Yale with a little bit of a lead, not so much in the CS department this time around. As you can see, the winning lanes, or top lane up a decent amount of CS, as well as bot lane being marginally ahead here, but still about a 400 gold gap at right now. So fairly even, all things considered, apart from that first blood.
You know, you mentioned the Prowler's Claw, and I do understand with the Mythic passive giving more of the armor penetration. It's definitely, you know, mathematically, it's going to give you a bit more damage here. As, you know, quit talking for a second, because YMZ seems to be kind of looking for something with the Blitz. I'm not sure if he's aware that he's on the ward right now. Does not have the scanner to check it out, but nice condemn. And Ceratosaurus are aware, and they're going to play nice and far back just to make sure nothing happens. But yeah, no, like, I can't even remember the point I was making.
Prowler's Claw, Varus.
Prowler's Claw, fantastic, thank you. So, with Prowler's Claw, it's so weird with the new items that were introduced this season, because it changes up the playstyle for so many different roles, especially the ones like Prowler's Claw that has actives. And I am too much of a monkey brain 80 carry to go Prowler's Claw. Like, I banned myself from doing it, because I'd be like, oh, like, this Gnar's jumping on me, I'm gonna just Prowler's Claw behind him and have extra damage to kill him, and then I just end up, like, Prowler's Clawing into 5 people, so it's a little tough. Duskblade is, I would say not a bad choice either. Like, it's cool to not only have more ability haste, but I think people really underestimate, especially for 80 carries, how useful that stealth is on reset. Like, especially when you were typically the primary target in team fights, everybody's looking to jump on you, there's assassins that are looking to hunt you down. Like, if you can get one reset and you're invisible for a few seconds to reposition, and one of the biggest mistakes people make is that they will cancel the stealth prematurely by using an ability or an auto attack or something, and then reveal themselves again. When realistically, if you stop everything you're doing, you use that stealth to reposition, it can be absolutely game-changing and especially frustrating for the enemy when, like, you know, kill after kill, like, oh, there he is, oh, no, he's stealth, oh, wait, there he is, oh, wait, no, he's stealth, like, especially if you're immobile, like Varus, like, you don't really have an arcane shift or something like that to, you know, help you do that type of repositioning, but a hook is found on a Ceratosaurus.
Yeah, Hook and Ceratosaurus, though, not going to get you too much in the end. He has the great health to be able to regen that back up, as well as a Cookie, but Bitnari this time going to get the parallel converters behind him, but here comes Tibbers coming through, and Tibbers is angry. Might be able to take down Kilowazolic on the back end, will be able to, so it's going to be a 1-for-1 in that mid lane there, as the Ignite from Bitnari is enough. Turtle Wizard up on the top side has a Renji on the ropes, though. Gonna jump forward, gonna get that Gnar, and the W, the mist ends right before that boulder hits. Gonna be a solo kill for Turtle Wizard up on the top lane, and despite us talking up that big matchup there, Gwen, so much damage and everything, Turtle Wizard says, Gnar, and throws him into the wall, picks up a kill.
That Gnar Q that was thrown was literally like just the millisecond that the AoE on the Gwen actually expires, and because otherwise, if that kept up for just, again, like half a second more, it would have blocked it, but Ceratosaurus actually keeps getting hooked, but he's okay for the most part. Mega might be the one in trouble.
No Chain of Corruption yet, which was kind of big there, but that's GG gonna go right in onto Imsfo. Gonna get a decent chunk out of that jungler. No flash on the Echo now, no flash on the Blitzcrank. Actually, no sums on the Blitzcrank. And gonna be in a little bit of a precarious situation, as Nice Condemn now level 6 could go for that Chain of Corruption. Gonna charge up the arrow, but doesn't look like anything's happening there. You know, up on top side, this is That's GG getting a little bit more aggressive, moving into the enemy jungle a little bit, although no camps up and available, as another rocket grab goes a little bit wide. But as we were talking about, That's GG in a little bit of a favorable position, forces the Echo ult to come down, as Bitnari was rotating as well.
Yeah, skirmish is back and forth, but nothing quite going down except for the bot lane, where another hook is found with Ceratosaurus.
Yep, Ceratosaurus gonna have enough gray health to make a big enough shield, but he might get taken down. No flashes out of there with the skin of his teeth. He's able to stay alive, and Tom Kench has a lot of teeth, so, you know, stayed alive barely there, to say the least. Tosses up the cards, gonna try and get out of there. He is on a ward, though, so Echo could come down, and Nice Condemn is also on not on vision here, but gonna try and walk forward. The flash away from the Echo Q is masterful. Picks up the kill on to the Syndra, and Imsfo says, I cannot do this. Lee Sin is around that corner. So still looking, doesn't have that ultimate to get out of there, doesn't have the flash either. That's GG though, might be looking for a dive here. This is a little bit exciting, but might just go for the Krugs instead. As thus far, nice condemn is, is Yone, that's not a good position. He
has to be back in.
Yeah, he's taking down the back end of that as Bitnari picks up another kill on this Yone. And Yale, thus far, 3,000 gold in the lead already at the 10-minute mark, and we were talking how much this Mint Gaming chocolate comp has potential, but thus far we aren't seeing too much of that. Orenji though up on the top side going for a little bit of an extended trade, has the ignite down onto the Gnar, but Turtle Wizard able to toss him into the wall, toss the boulder, and that's going to be another solo kill for your Turtle Wizard up on the top side, and the lead grows.
Keep in mind, for the past 2 minutes, we just went from Yale's bot lane killing them, and then the camera pans up, Yale's mid lane kills them, you pan up to top lane, Yale's top lane kills them. So quite literally in the span of probably like 90 seconds realistically, every single spot on the map just got taken out. But Ceratosaurus, is he probably going to live with a gray health again? They don't have the Yone ult available. I think he's okay for now with Bitnari. The Yone has to go away for now, and maybe a pick?
Yeah, we're going to see the ultimate come through. It's going to be the pull down on to That's GG. He's going to get eaten up. He might be able to survive with his shield as A-Word comes in and has no HP already. Turtle Wizard up in that front line, though, has to burn that flash to get out of there. The piercing arrow just a little bit short there as no kills go down quite yet. That's GG moving forward. Was way off screen there. Actually might be in a little bit of a tough situation. He can't land the resonating strike, but he lives with single-digit HP, had to have been. And no one actually dies at the end of that one. But the play's not over. I'm always holding my breath here, and I do not envy the position of being a color caster here because there's so much action that it's so hard to get a word in. But I think we should be good. Oh, never mind. Killua Zoldyck jumping over that wall. Think he's going to be able to get out of there as we get a breath to speak here. 4,000 gold in the lead for Yale. And they're really pushing their advantages just through all of their lanes right now. Yeah,
no, it is honestly fantastic to watch that. Almost every time consistently Yale picks up a lead, they're able to do fantastic things with it. And but we are still consistently seeing, whether every single game this series, honestly, Mint Gaming, even when they are at a deficit like this, they are still trying to make plays happen, and they are just barely getting away. Like, Yale is, in a few of these situations, like we saw That's GG on the Lee here, just by the skin of his teeth manages to walk away with sub 100 health, and it just feels so bad when, you know, this is one of the kills that could, you know, help bring you back, even if it's not one of those big shutdowns. And, you know, Killua wants one of these kills on the board.
Yeah, Bitnari might be getting taken down here. Yes, that's a shutdown going over to the Yone, so that's one way to claw a little bit of an advantage back. But up on the top side here, That's GG going for an extended fight against the Gwen. Never recommended, but ends up not being too bad. If he can stay alive, he's going to be able to flash W his way out of there. Resonating strike as he kicks in there. Goes right through those blades there, and Turtle Wizard able to pick up his third kill of the game. But my goodness, That's GG. You were playing with fire there.
Dude, I saw like that snip as the Lee Sin was connecting the resonating strike, and I truly thought that was gonna be him dying midair, but he manages to live. A kill picked up on the top lane. Poor Renji just, you know, not having a fun time yet again. However, you know, Mint Gaming Chocolate are able to pick up the second dragon of the game, at least getting on the board for that objective. And it does look like, you know, otherwise Yale picks up the first blood turret, you know, just helping to get their gold lead ever increasing. But Killua actually able to pick up a solo kill in the mid lane, a very fantastic feeling, and it's why I'm glad they decided to opt for the things like the Yone and the Echo more, is because it does have those potentials, or the potential to actually, you know, make those plays by yourself. You don't need much follow-up or anything like that. But Renji, my man, you're 1v2.
We've got to be a little bit careful, all things considered, as Renji going to go down to the Lee Sin once again. 0-4-0 on this Gwen. Not having fun this game. He's sitting and calling. He's just like, man, like that horse staring out into the ocean. Know that picture? That's what Renji's feeling right now. But up on the top side, the Rift Herald can be summoned up as well to take another tower up on the top side. And that actually might be better for RNG, all things considered, being able to farm closer to the base. But at the end of the day, Turtle Wizard is going to be a very rich wizard at the end of this one. He's going to be able to go back, pick up a lot of items. And that's not going to bode well considering how much of a carry he has been in this series thus far. Imsfo flashes away from Tibbers, though, so will be able to stay alive as gets the second charge off on to that tier 3 tower, and they're able to siege down mid at this stage as Varus just able to farm up for so long, just left alone in the bot lane.
Yeah, surprisingly enough, even though, wow, goodness me, YMZ just never gonna let me speak as he's going in 1v2 here, but I think he's okay, but Turtle Wizard on the side.
Yeah, Turtle Wizard is getting pretty close to that mega range, and he's gonna go in here, find a massive Gnar. That's 3 people who he takes down. That's GG gonna take down Imso at the beginning of that one. Gwen trying to take someone down with her, but she'll be able to stay alive for a little bit. Killua actually on the side, living with last tick of Ignite here, as Ceratosaurus is going to flash away from that knockup. Turtle Wizard is on the chase. Boomerang lands, and I'm sorry, RNG, there's no getting out of this one. Another kill picked up by the Wizard of Turtles, as Ceratosaurus dodges away from the flash hook from Mega Jayton. So
that was a oh my god, like, again, you should see my jaw is just on the floor constantly, and DasGG is just not done with making plays happen here, but not gonna go. But Turtle Wizard is just ready for action too. Oh my god, it's just non-stop everywhere.
Yeah, Turtle Wizard, you know, 1v2 is just able to poke down that Yone so much, and at this point, it's like they're slapping him with the wallets. You have the Ludens complete on the Syndra, but you're also got the Ludens complete on the Annie and the Stridebreaker complete on the Gnar. Most likely going to be the Gore Drinker finished up for the Lee Sin as well. And this Varus almost on 2 items at this stage, working towards that completed Manamune there. So overall, just a really, really good position for the side of Yale as they're up almost 7,500 gold again at the 17-minute mark.
Yes, and the thing I was going to mention beforehand was that despite Award being down a couple kills on Condemn, like, he definitely has a lot more gold banked up. You know, he's got about 1,600 more, but at the same time, they're nearly neck and neck for CS numbers, which is actually, you know, it's one of those nice things to see that even if you are, like, you know, you're down 0-2, you can still keep up with the farm. Great sign of a good player. We'll
get back to that as RNG stunned up. No snips available, and the only thing getting cut down this time is RNG. So Gnar picks up his 5th kill of the game. If you look at the gold difference there, he's up 3,000 gold in the mid lane. Gold is relatively even, but the junglers 1,400 gold apart. Even the supports at this point, 700 gold difference between them. It is just a little bit of a massacre, to say the least, as he pulls Tibbers.
He got Tibbers. I mean, actually, there was a Cinder Stun, and now a Yone ult up on the top side.
Yeah, Yone trying to get a little bit more off on this top side, but Ceratosaurus, being the scumbag support, going to be able to pick up that kill. Takes it away from Nice Condemn, but at the end of the day, another kill going into the back pockets there. 8,000 golden lead. That's GG. Spotted him on vision, but Bitnari in a little bit of trouble. Unleashed power will be enough. That's GG going to flash for the auto. That's going to be a 1-for-1 in the end. So another kill going back over to Mint Gaming Chocolate in the hands of the Syndra. But meanwhile, top lane is kind of the story of this one, because now that your bot lane is up on the top side, pushing that wave in, as well as the Lee Sin taking all of Imsfo's jungle, 2 levels up on that jungle difference as well. And what can Mint Gaming Chocolate do at this stage?
Well, it's kind of heartbreaking for Mint Gaming Chocolate in the sense of the kills that they are picking up, every single one has been on Bitnari, which it's fine to be getting the kill gold, but look at the bounties on everyone else. You know, you got, you know, nearly 600 gold if you kill Gnar, you know, nearly 400 to the lead, 500 on the Varus. Like, picking up one of those kills would feel so much better. And even right now, as Yale picking up the 3rd dragon of the game, their 2nd one, working towards this Earth Soul. I'm not even sure with how far ahead they are that they're going to even need it. But there is still the advantage that Mint Gaming Chocolate has, and that is, like, again, you can have any composition available, but if you have the one champion, it is always winnable, and that is Blitzcrank. Because if you can make a game-changing hook like that Bitnari flashes away from just in time, you can still come back into it. You pick off one player later on to the game, like just one good blitz hook, it doesn't matter if you're 20k gold down, it can literally result in a victory. So Honestly, they just have to play around vision. They have to make sure they actually establish vision control and see if they can basically go in with the mindset that they have to cheese, like Bitnari just did. Just like that. Like, that's just it. Like, exactly like that. Like that Bitnari did on Annie. But you do it with the blitz, and then your Tom Kench just even takes the big rafter for additional flex. This is something. It's a tough one. For 20 minutes in, the score is currently 15-3 in favor of Yale right now. And
yep. Oh,
Jays. Oh, that was a
that was a clean kick. That was a really nice insect to knock back Blitzcrank into the team. Gives Nice Condemn another one on the board, but you know, top side. Ooh. You hate to see it as the Gwen there, but Ceratosaurus still walking pretty aggressively forward here. Going to try and make something happen, but look at the side lanes. Annie up on the top side, trying to siege down that inhibitor turret. Down on the bot side, Gnar is just allowed free reign to auto the crap out of that tower, and it's just so much pressure in favor of Yale here, and almost up. This is a 9,500 gold lead at this stage of the game. Mint Gaming Chocolate, while they have the Blitzcrank, you can't pull the Tom Kench. You can't really pull the Gnar if he has any sort of Gnar bar available. And he most likely going to have that Zonya's complete in the next little bit as well. If we could hop back over to the scoreboard, I believe she has that Seeker's Arm Guard stacking up as well. So right now, just a little bit of a rough situation if you are Mint Gaming Chocolate.
Yeah, no, to say the least. And again, nearly 10k gold in the lead right now. Baron is available. The next dragon is a little less than 3 minutes away, so not the highest of priorities. But looking to get Baron and close it out is Bitnari just barely. Ooh, just not even close, baby.
Not even
He's
close.
Out of there, so didn't even have to think about it. But you know, it's picks like that where again, if Bitnari or someone else is having a greedy recall or something like that, or see Ceratosaurus here just like by himself kind of clearing out a ward, you get these blitz hooks, but everyone has to be there to respond. Like, the Syndra has been chunking out people that have been getting pulled, but she isn't doing enough of the 100-0 yet. But if you had Echo, Yone, and Gwen on top of the Blitzcrank for whoever he pulls, like, even if it's the Gnar, you could probably melt it down as long as he doesn't just instantly get Mega and just basically just slam you guys into a wall. You should be good to go for the most part. Also, something I just noticed is that Gwen isn't dead. She took
unlucky.
Market.
Yeah, but oh my goodness, that's GG trying to go for another insect play there. Not able to pick that one up and actually taking a decent amount of damage, but not going to be enough. Chain of Corruption going to land onto Mega J-Ton as well, as that's going to be a 2-for-0 thus far. Ceratosaurus is going to lick that Echo, forces the flash out of there as well. So that's a 2-for-0 quickly on the board for the side of Yale. And you keep saying this Blitzcrank pick, they just got to keep it simple. A-Word actually going to get taken down on the back end of that, as it's going to be 3-for-0 and that mid lane tier 2. Orenji is still alive, but with only the Rift Maker and not a whole lot else, don't think that there's any chance of defense against this. This is going to be an inhibitor taken down at the 23-minute mark already, as Turtle Wizard gets stunned up onto the tower. Ceratosaurus is there to gobble him up and take him out. So all things considered, Yale going to be able to pick up that first inhibitor, maybe looking to pick up a second inhibitor as they just rotate down to that bot side, and still another 5 seconds on A-Word there. So at least the tower gone. Turtle Wizard moving forward, gets pulled under that tower. He is in Mega though, gonna Gnar 3 people back as Ceratosaurus is the out in this case. Another Chain of Corruption gonna lock up 4 of them on the back end. Great disengage as the kick does so much damage as well. Mega Jason does not keep it simple there. Flashes forward and pulls a minion as Turtle Wizard on the run, but more than enough movement speed to be able to get out of there. Oh my goodness, look at that burst damage and that. Another kill picked up as Turtle Wizard jumps forward. Nice condemn taken down at the back end of that, but will take down the Syndra as well. And as we thought the fight was over, Ceratosaurus is going to be going all the way to the back there. Boris is the fate sealed and actually going to get taken down by Orenji. Finally on the board, but Mega Jason not going to be able to stay alive for much longer. Turtle Wizard going to go down as well, but Bitnari here once again with Tibbers number 2 of the fight will be able to pick up another bit of damage there. So whew.
They're playing with their food, dude. This is, and again, like, even before that most recent thing where they're running back to the base, like, there are so many plays from each of these individual players. Like, Yale is smurfing. Like, Dats GG has had some of the nuttiest kicks I've seen from Lee Sins in general. Like, we've seen, 4 to 5 man chain of corruptions. Dats GG going in for another play, a lot of damage coming out from the Echo.
Yeah, Echo actually gonna be able to never mind, he's dead. Here comes Renji on the side, doesn't have that all or has the ultimate back up, gonna toss down a bunch of needles there actually, but Nari taking a lot of damage, but that's GG still alive here. He's gotten that double kill, he got that resonating strike, he's gonna be able to land it, the smackdown. That is a 1v3 already. He's able to stay alive for just a little bit longer. It's the quadra kill coming through. Yone gonna ruin any dreams of that, but holy moly, that's GG saying that's GG, folks, as he's just absolutely smurfing on them. This is a 1.5 item Lee Sin, by the way.
Wow,
no, it's
that like I can't get it again. If they actually did show for some reason the casters videos, their cameras on screen through these games, you would just never see my mouth closed and my jaw constantly on the floor, because Yale is doing a fantastic job tonight and impressing me in many different ways. And again, from seeing their 3-0 series from last week for the semifinals, and then for them to, be pretty close to doing it again. They just need to finish it out. More than likely going to be looking towards this Baron here to just walk into the base, more than likely top lane, knowing they got the mid and bot supers flooding in. But they're kind of just taking all the camps. Even Nice Condemn after the Wolves reset, he's like, no, I want these. Like, I don't have enough gold. I just need to get these. We're not going to go towards Baron. Maybe we might look for A-Word in the mid lane here.
Yep, gonna be on the chase for that one. The hail of arrows gonna come down. Chain of Corruption and Turtle Wizard able to pick up his 8th kill of the game. Done and dusted in that sense. And at this point, they're kind of just playing around with their food. They could totally just run it down mid and end at this point, but looks like they're gonna go pick up some Baron Nashor for a dessert here and clean that one up. I don't think there's any chance of a contest here, bar a miracle. No one's even in the area. This is just going to be Baron over to Yale.
No jinx or anything. Yeah, like.
And, we were talking about their mascot last week. What was his name again?
Oh man. Oh, I can't remember.
It was the dog. Regardless, the dog is happy. The dog will not be.
The dog is happy. Yes. The dog
happy. Old English bulldog, as they say. So. Like at this point, Yale's just showing that they're not just an Ivy League caliber school in terms of their academics. They're an Ivy League caliber school in terms of their League of Legends gameplay as well, at least in the UGL here, as another kill on to the Blitzcrank. Imspo gonna go down to a flash E as Turtle Wizard takes a full unleashed power to the face and doesn't really feel phased. About to go mega once again, but nice. Snipe one from downtown, 50% HP, 2-0, and Yale is going to be able to take the championship. A-Word has left the game. Kilowazoldik still looking for a little bit more. Good game to Mint Gaming Chocolate in this one, but your champions of the spring 2021 Upsurge Gold League, they're going to be Yale Esports, cleaning that one up. 3-0, no losses in playoffs, a perfect 8-0 for their playoff run. And they're going to be our champions for UGL in spring 2021. So just this 3-game series was just a clinic put on by them. Absolutely no flaws and just wow.
Yeah, no, it was well deserved. And again, like they had a great season in general. Like their standings up to this point, and for and also giving credit to Mint Gaming Chocolate. Like they were also like, again, the second team in this, in the entire league for the split, and it was still such a dominating performance from Yale, and I think that really does say a lot about these players. Their commitment together as a team, you can definitely tell they had, some great synergies together. You can tell the communication was there and that the practice was put in, and it was well deserved. And this is, the result of it. Not only being able to win finals, but a 3-0 finals, like that feels good.
Yeah, it's a way to make a statement, to say the least, but that's how it goes, I guess. Sometimes, one team just absolutely stomps the other one. And honestly, a big shout out to Mint Gaming Chocolate for the games. They did really well overall in this series, just couldn't put the pieces together, and Yale was just the better team today. But overall, that's basically going to wrap it up for our season of the UGL. From Half Asian Dad myself, that is me, as well as Listuya, the guy to my I think he's on my right on the screen,
I think
as
it's
well
on
as
the
a
right.
producer, Dom, as well. A big shout out to Cherish and Tori, who did fill in for a couple of those weeks in between. We just want to thank all of you for joining us for these UGL finals. And we hope to see you in summer when we come back with another season of Upsurge Gold League. And yeah, that's basically all for us. We will see you next time. Stay safe, people. Stay hydrated. Thanks for joining us.